Hello, 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 everyone. This is Dr. David Snyder checking in with you. Welcome to Secrets of How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind for Success, Health, Wealth, and Happiness. For the next 2.5 to 3 hours, I'm going to be your guide, your teacher, your mentor over some of the most powerful and rapid ways to create permanent and powerful change inside your mind, body, and soul that I've ever come across, that I've been using clinically for many, many years. Many of you are joining us from many different platforms. We're actually using a new restreaming platform. So many of you are joining us through TikTok, or joining us through YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. So I want to welcome you all to Planet David. This may be your first time actually seeing us do these things in action. Before we get into the content of tonight's webinar, I want to go through some basic administrative things so that we all are on the same page and that you can get the greatest amount of value from tonight's training. First of all, my webinars don't follow a standard webinar format. They're what we call I call it a free form webinar. So we divide the webinar into 3 parts. The first part is all about foundations, things that you absolutely must have and need to understand to be able to actually deploy and create change in you. These are, to me, they're advanced for a lot of people. In our world, we take them as just basics. But basics are basics for a reason, because they always work. Now, the best part about the content of tonight's webinar is you don't have to believe a damn thing I'm going to teach you. You don't have to believe you deserve to have it. What needs to happen, though, is you need to embrace a few basic ideas. The first and foremost is we've taken a lot of time to distill the technology that we're going to be sharing with you down to mechanics. In other words, if you just follow the steps and you add the ingredients, you're going to get change. The one thing I can't predict is interval or degree, but you will get change. You don't have to believe it. You just have to have a fun, playful, explorational attitude and do the drills, and you'll experience the results. We're going to teach you how to tap into and unleash the magic of your own autonomic nervous system for powerful, rapid, and usually permanent change. Okay. But again, if this is the scope of everything that there is to train and learn and practice tonight, we have time for this, okay? And so my promise to you tonight, once I get through all the administrative things and all the little foundational things, is I will take you as far down this rabbit hole of personal transformation and change as I can in the time that we have. And I will point you in the direction of where to go to level up your skills and take your training to the next level. Now, one of the things that I want to warn you about, my webinars tend to go a bit long, right? I know maybe you're used to the 90-minute webinar where you log in and the person teases you for the first hour and then spends the last 30 minutes of the webinar pitching you on their next product. Yes, there is an offer connected to this webinar, but it's not about the offer. It's about you. It's about what you want, what you deserve, and giving you the tools that you need that you can prove to yourself right away and go out into the world and make change. So that's why I really, really, really want to stress that you will get the most out of this webinar if you actually do the drills right along with us, okay? Because if I tell you about something, I kind of get you excited. But if I guide you through a set of experiences, I've changed you in a way that you can't go back to being the old way again, at least not without feeling really bad about it, okay? So my challenge for you tonight is have fun, be playful, be very interactive with tonight's webinar. The more interactive you are, the more juice you're going to get from it, okay? My job tonight is to take you from 0 to hero, to teach you how to tap into the power of your own mind and body, to give you foundations and principles that you can start using right away, solid, real-world, hardcore, actionable stuff that you can take out and just start reprogramming your mind for more health, more wealth, more success, more happiness. We're going to go through all the basic hoops and things that we would normally do in a webinar, but I want to just really, really quickly get these things out. So first and foremost, this is an interactive webinar. I as a trainer, as a teacher, I thrive on feedback. So the more interaction you give me, the more juice you're going to get out of me, right? So if you're with me, type "I got that" in the chat. Okay, I want to welcome our folks who are joining us through our YouTube channel. If you are joining us through the YouTube channel, please keep in mind that your chat is in real time, okay? But when I answer a question or I respond to something not through the chat, there's going to be a delay. There's just how it is, okay? So to get the most out of tonight's webinar, you're going to need something to physically write with, something to physically write on, Okay, now I know a lot of you like to do keyboard stuff, and I get that. But one of the things that I have learned through my many years of study and practice is that the more analog we make the training, in other words, if I have to compare the results to your nervous system and your brain from typing something on a keyboard versus physically writing it out, I guarantee you, you're going to get a deeper brain activation by physically writing these things out than you will by typing on a keyboard. Okay. In fact, there's whole systems of change and transformation that have, just by changing the characteristics of your handwriting, you can literally backwards engineer your personality traits to be more successful, more confident, more enthusiastic. You can remove laziness and deception, all these other things. It's really cool. It takes time. It takes physically doing the drills. So I'm going to go as fast as I can through part one of the webinar. Part one of the webinar is all about foundations. We're going to give you the nuts and bolts, real world experiences that you need to be able to move forward with your life. That's part one. Part two, we're going to transition into how to level up those skills, programs that we've created for you that allow you to build on the foundations you're getting and keep going. Part three, that usually takes about 30, 40 minutes maybe, right? You're going to want to stay on to the end of the webinar because there's a part three to our webinar tonight. And part three is where things get really cool. Part three is where we take all of the foundations that we've laid, all the questions and all the things you told me you wanted to learn about as a group, and we customize the content of tonight's webinar to focus on the exact applications that you as a group want to actually practice and be able to use. Does that make sense? You guys understand part one, part two, and part three of the webinar? If you're with me, if you understand that, type I understand that, I got it in the chats. Perfect, 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 perfect. You're going to have questions. I get that. I know I'm talking really fast. It's because I have a lot of information that I want to get through and get into you so you can start having and experiencing change. So one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to know that I am very, very open. I love questions. Probably one of the most frustrating and exciting things about all of our live events and all of our masterminds and AMAs and things of that is the fact that I will take just about any question that people ask. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. If I do know the answer, I'll tell you that and we'll drill it. The problem when you're on a webinar where people's time is valuable and they're coming for a specific set of applications is sometimes the questions I get asked aren't directly relevant to the content of tonight's webinar. So there's three ways that you can get your questions answered tonight. The first one is type it in the chat, right? If it's relevant to where we are in the webinar, I'll answer it if I see it. Now, there's a lot of people. People come in and out all the time, right? If I see your question and it's relevant, I will answer it. Otherwise, I will probably just see it and just keep talking and training because it's going to take us down a rabbit hole that's going to slow us down from getting the results that we want. Okay. The second way that you can, if my veterans, if you're brand new to Planet David, type new in the chat where you're checking in from, and just type first time so people know. If you're a veteran of Planet David, type in a veteran, how long you've been in Planet David, and where your name and where you're checking in from. That way, the people who are brand new can see the people who've been around for a while. And for you guys who are veterans, it's all about paying it forward. If you see a question that is asked by one of the new people, right? And it's a question that you have direct experience solving using our technologies, I invite you to reach out to that person in a way that doesn't distract or take too much information, too much attention away from the webinar, and tell them about your experience and how you used our technologies to solve it. You know, one of the things that whenever you get on a webinar, there's always an offer there, and there's always this bias in the back of people's minds. Well, of course he's going to tell me how good his stuff is. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to believe the people in the chat. I want you to believe the people who've been using this material out in the real world on real problems, for many cases, for years. Okay, I have a very low tolerance for bullshit, right? And I don't have time. I don't waste time on low percentage technique. 99% of the things I'm sharing with you tonight, I did not design for the public at large. I designed them for me. I had problems and challenges in my life, starting with being lied to, socially awkward, bigger around than I was tall, constantly bullied, constantly picked on, right? I was about as successful as women as Schlep Rock on the old Pebbles and Bam Bam show, okay? And I was desperate. I was obsessed with finding solutions to my life's problems. Turns out along the way, I found some good stuff and I started using it, and I ran into a lot of people who had similar problems, and I taught them some of this stuff and they started getting results too. But I'm not going to bullshit you. I didn't create this stuff for you initially. right? I created it for me. And as it started to get me more and more of the results that I wanted, more and more people started raising their hand, and I started sharing these things. And it's all about helping each other, right? We live in, even in spite of the craziness that's going on in the world, we live in an abundant universe. The problem is we don't understand the dynamics of how that abundance flows. And it's all mediated through the prism of your autonomic nervous system and your unconscious mind. And that's what the core of tonight's webinar is really about. The core of tonight's webinar is about how do you tap in and change the settings and the parameters and the filters in your own nervous system that allows you to remove and dissolve limiting beliefs, get over self-sabotage, overcome fear and anger and hate and envy, and all these things that poison us on a psychic, spiritual, or physical level, right? That's where we're going tonight. Health, self, success, wealth, and happiness, right? Now, I'm gonna caution you about happiness. Happiness is an end state. Happiness is, if you've ever heard the expression, comfort zones are wonderful things, but nothing ever grows there. That's the challenge with happiness. You know, you can actually tap into any emotional state that you want, but what result is that state that you're going for actually producing in your life? If it isn't producing a tangible, practical result, then it's not as useful as you might think. Right? We're going to explode the myth of confidence tonight and why you don't need to be confident to be successful. Okay. And why, in many cases, the myth of confidence is what holds people back. Okay. That being said, I'm going to give you my standard disclaimer. I'm going to give you a little bit of my background, and we're going to get into the bulk of tonight's webinar. I'm going to try and minimize my PowerPoint as much as I can. Reason being is that, it's a lot of, most people are, you ever heard the term death by PowerPoint, right? Some people go into trance when they see a PowerPoint, and that's cool. And where it's appropriate to do that, I'm going to do that. But I find that being able to just look you guys in the face and having you, I can see you guys. Yes, I can see you, Nina. So first thing said, if politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offends you, this is probably not the best use of your next 2 or 3 hours. My intention is never to offend anyone, but it is to provoke people. And one of the reasons that provocation is so very important is we need to think about provocative thoughts and words differently than the media has conditioned us to do it. You have a right to be offended. You have a right to offend, right? You don't have a right to physically assault people, but one of the things that we as self-cultivating, self-actualizing human beings need to become aware of is that anything that provokes a very strong, over-the-top emotional response in us, positive or negative, is a sign of a program running below the threshold of conscious awareness that is holding us back, that is limiting us in certain ways, okay? Our goal is to move through the world in a constant state of flow and optimal performance. You can't do that when you're being buffeted and triggered by every word or nuance or message that your neurology encounters. So one of the things that you as self-actualizing people must learn to do, and this is really important, is you need to learn to run as vigorously and enthusiastically towards the things that make you want to run away or lash out as you do towards the things that make you feel happy, joyful, and pleasurable. Does that make sense? Even if it doesn't, it will start to make more sense by the end of tonight's webinar. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing some stuff here about being able to see me or not see me. Okay, is that something I need to address? Okay, all right, so like I said, if this is the scope of everything there is to learn, we got time for this. We have our veterans, we have our new people. I want to welcome you all. Now, here's the thing. When you saw the promotions for tonight's class, and I really believe that I really teach these things as classes. I really want you to think of me as your mentor and your guide at whatever level you're comfortable with interacting with me. When we promoted this webinar, we talked about how to reprogram your subconscious mind. I want to take you as far down that rabbit hole as I can. If this is the scope of everything, this is what we got. But even this can make dramatic and profound changes in your life if you simply follow the instructions. Now, just as a show of hands, are you guys in the actual right place? Well, let me ask you a question. If you can answer yes to any of these questions, then you are in the right place. How many of you, by show of hands, would like to be more attractive to the opposite sex? Anybody? Maybe make them find you charming, fascinating, and irresistible. Guess where the keys to doing that are? It's in your autonomic nervous system. If you'd like to banish fear and insecurity from your life and radiate confidence, assertiveness, and power, and be truly assertive and alpha, if you like that term, whether you're male or female, I don't care, or if you don't identify as either, but you still want to be dominant, more confident, more outgoing. If you want that, type "that's for me" in the chat. Right? If you would like to make more money from your job, book more clients for your business, get that raise or promotion that you deserve, type "that's for me" in the chat. Right? Even if you don't think you deserve it, but you would like to deserve it, type "that's for me" in the chat, because a lot of us want those things, but we don't think we deserve it. Right? I'm going to show you how to start deserving those things. Okay. Now, the best part is whether you think you deserve it or you don't, these techniques will still start to work. They will start to provoke you in certain ways. And that's one of the things, that's why I talked about provocation first, because we're going to teach you something that the law of attraction people didn't tell you about. We're going to teach you something that the people trying to teach you affirmations didn't tell you about. And if you just understand this one simple principle, you'll be able to streamline all of your self-programming, reprogram your subconscious mind, and really move forward with a new sense of love and deservingness for yourself and the world around you. Okay. If you'd like to program yourself for massive financial abundance with more than enough money to buy the things you want and then some, especially in this economy, you want to type "yes" in the chat right now. If you'd like to be able to cause anyone you meet to like, admire, and trust you, maybe even love you, sometimes in as little as 20 minutes, go ahead and type that in the chat. Right? If you'd like to nail 2 or 3 job interviews in a row, right? Even if you don't qualify for the job, if you'd like to have them offering you the job. Now, I don't recommend you use this to lie to people. If you can't do the job, don't do the processes, right? But if you'd like that kind of flexibility and freedom in your professional life, you want to stay on tonight's webinar. If you'd like to be able to inspire your employees, children, spouses to do what you want them to do, when you want them to do it, this is a big one in my family. My kids do what I want, but not always when I want them to do it, right? This is a place where you want to hang out. If you'd like to attract and surround yourself with lots of new, trustworthy, and loyal friends, operative word being trustworthy and loyal, might want to hang out for the entire webinar. If you'd like to easily know how to put people under your spell just by talking to them, even if you have zero knowledge of NLP or hypnosis or behavioral analysis or whatever, you might want to hang out for tonight's webinar. Okay. So the question becomes, who's this guy in the vest and why the hell is he talking to me to begin with? Well, first of all, for those of you who are just checking in, my name is Dr. David Snyder. And for the last 17 years, I've had a clinical practice here in Solana Beach, California, where my focus has been treating physiological illness caused by repressed emotion. Now, I will talk about my NLP and my hypnosis credentials in just a moment, but I am an actual doctor of Oriental medicine. I have my doctorate from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. My focus has been treating psycho-emotional illness. In other words, people come in with cancer or Parkinson's or COPD or IBS, and we unpack those physical remedies, those physical maladies, and we find the emotional causes, right? And one of the most interesting and perhaps disturbing things, how many people are interested in law of attraction, just by a show of hands? Anybody? Just type "that's me" in the chat. Okay, perfect. Some of you guys are way better at Zoom and raising your hands and shit like that than I am. Here's one of the things I discovered. Law of attraction works. I spent 17 years fixing the byproduct of people's negative manifestations. We call it disease. So what if we could harness those same skills that they use to create disease to create something better? And what if we could do it really consistently and really permanently over time? Would that be something that would be helpful? Would that change your life if you could just get rid of aches and pains and fears and all those other things? Yes or yes? What's the guy's name? T. Harv Eker would say, is that yes or yes? Excellent. Okay, perfect. So for the last 4 years, my program, Killer Influence, has been ranked the #1 NLP training program in the world by globalgurus.org. I've been one of the top 2 NLP trainers in the world since like 2016 or 2017. Okay, I've authored over 15 different products on various forms of human influence, everything from hypnotherapy to conversational hypnosis, persuasion, conversational belief change, storytelling and metaphor, therapeutic hypnosis and conversational hypnotic training, vibrational influence, vibrational healing. We run the full spectrum. I teach people how to face read and decode human behavior. If you go to the website, you'll see over 50 different products on various forms of influence and understanding people. So I've been doing this a long time, and every single aspect of it, I learned to make my life better. And because of that, I'm going to help you guys to make your lives better, if that's something that you want. You guys want my help to make your lives better? If you do, type yes in the chat. I know it sounds like a stupid question, but you'd be amazed. I'm just here to take up space. I'm just here because I'm a tourist, right? I only want to talk to people who are actually ready to make a change, right? Because there's two ingredients. There's two ingredients that all successful people have to have in place. Would you like to know what those two ingredients are? Yes or yes? Okay. You might want to write this down. It is on my PowerPoint, but like I said, I don't really want to use a PowerPoint tonight for some reason. I just feel like I have a better connection to you if I'm just talking to you straight. Is that true for you or not true? Okay, perfect. Okay, because if you guys want the PowerPoint, I'm happy to throw that up there. It takes a lot of stress off me, right? Okay, so here's the two things you need. Here's the two things you need. You need a sense of identity, a sense of self that allows you to take the actions you need to become the person you want to be. Now, if you ever listen to guys like John Assaraf, or I think Zig Ziglar talked a lot about this as well. Some of the other self-help people, or Nathaniel Brandon's another one, right? You can't out-earn your self-image. Well, that's not exactly true, but it's true enough to be true for most people who don't have the techniques to circumvent those limiting beliefs. I'm going to show you some techniques tonight that will help you circumvent the limiting beliefs. Now, notice I didn't say get rid of them. We have techniques for that too. But sometimes it's enough to just circumvent the limiting belief to get forward momentum and moving forward. And that brings us to the next ingredient. The first one is an identity, a sense of self that is willing to be the person who can have those things. A lot of our transformation work, a lot of our alchemical work, for lack of a better word, manifestation, is about becoming that person. And a lot of teachers will give you little drills or journaling or other things to facilitate that, but then they leave out the next part. And this is the one that is going to screw the most people up. For those of you who want to see this on a PowerPoint, I'll throw up one of my OneNote slides in a minute. So you can kind of look at it, right? But the first one is identity. We're going to talk about the building blocks of identity and what that actually means to us. The second one is action. For every change you make on the inside of your mind, for every change that you make, you must match it with an appropriate action in the physical world. You have to take steps, okay? I've literally been on forums, and this is over many years of watching people in the hypnosis world. They do all this mental programming. They do all these things, like they want to go out and get a new job, and they'll do like their vision boards, and they'll do affirmations, and then they'll just sit by the phone and wait for it to ring, or wait for an employer through some mysterious twist of fate to email them out of the blue and say, hey, do you want a job? I've literally seen this happen on bulletin boards. Now, I'm not saying everybody's that way, but a lot of the things that we're taught in terms of how to reprogram our subconscious mind, or in the law of attraction space, they downplay the need to take physical steps in the world. You must move forward and take actions, right? Now, there's a couple of reasons why people don't move forward. And I make a joke in my hypnosis class, right? I say there's two reasons people don't follow your suggestions. They don't want to, or they don't want to. And I get a little chuckle from the group, and then I have to explain that. There's two reasons that people don't take a suggestion in hypnosis. They either don't understand what you're asking them to do, or they're afraid. That's it. They don't understand, or they're afraid. Now, how does that relate to reprogramming your unconscious mind for success, health, wealth, and happiness? There's two primary reasons that people don't take action. A, It's a mindset issue. In other words, there's a belief or a fear or an experience that's a program that's running that says, yeah, Brad Jones says, or you annoy them. What's that? What's going on in my chat here? You guys trying to distract me? Okay. So they either have a mindset issue, they have a program that's running that says, I can't do this, I don't deserve it. If I change too much, I'll be somebody I don't like. These are all mindset issues. Okay. And when those programs go into operation, they don't take the action, they don't get the result. Or they take a half-hearted action and get a half-assed result. Okay. The other is a skill set issue. What does that mean? It means they know where to go, they know what to do, or actually they're excited, they're passionate, they're enthusiastic. They would take action yesterday if someone would just give them a first step, or even a second or third step, right? But they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. That's a knowledge deficit. That's a skill set issue, okay? Most people's barriers to success aren't all 100% cut and dry. But when you look at and you break down what's holding people back, they all fall under one or two of both of those categories. So one of the challenges that we're going to be focusing on tonight, or one of the things we're going to start working about how to get past, is how do we define for ourselves if what we have is a skill set issue or a mindset issue? Does that make sense? Okay, so right now, type your questions about what I just said in your chat so I know where you're at with me. Okay, go ahead and do that. One second. No questions yet? Okay. Skill set or mindset? Okay. So many years ago, I had the opportunity to train with a company called Combined Insurance that was founded by a man named W. Clement Stone. How many of you people here have ever heard of W. Clement Stone? Anybody? Okay. You may not have heard of W. Clement Stone, but you probably heard of the guy he sponsored for many years. His name was Napoleon Hill. And W. Clement Stone created a program called the Success System That Never Fails. And it was literally taught to his door-to-door salesman. And if you actually worked this system, it was impossible not to sell things, right? But he was big on mastering the biggest territory between your ears. So what he would talk about is something called the 3 ingredients to success. These are a little bit different than what I just talked about, but if you really pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, you'll see the 2 I'm talking about, identity and action, embedded in there. The first one was called inspiration to action. In other words, there was a desire, something you wanted, something that inspired you to take action. There was activity knowledge. What's activity knowledge? Activity knowledge is the theoretical skill sets or steps that you need to take to accomplish something. Okay, and then there's what we call know-how. Know-how was the actual practical way that you actually do something out in the real world, right? So inspiration to action. Am I somebody who wants something? Is there something? Do I deserve to have it? Am I allowed to go get it in my own mind? Do I have, as my friend Chase Hughes likes to say, do I have permission in my own mind to go and do those things, right? That's inspiration to action. Activity, knowledge, and know-how. Do I have the skills? Do I know the theory behind what I'm doing, what my outcome is, where I need to go, what are the steps I need to take? And do I have the physical skills to implement that strategy? Do I have the physical skills to implement that strategy? All of our advanced programs and webinar packages are designed to give you the system. That's not what tonight's webinar is about, though. Tonight's webinar is about giving you know-how. It's about giving you simple, clear, actionable techniques that you can just start putting to work right away, drawn from the system, that you can start seeing how each piece is like a nuclear bomb changing things inside of you. And when you put the whole system together, you get this amazing strategy and a way to implement going forward. So are you guys with me on that? That's where I want to take you guys tonight. Type it in the chat. Okay, so let's talk about identity for a moment. Identity is about belief systems. Okay, it is about self-esteem and self-image, yes, but those are actually beliefs. I'm going to go to my PowerPoint here because it's important to visualize this. 1 second. I'm actually jumping around my PowerPoint, which is why, actually, I need to know, is it on my PowerPoint or is it on my one? It's actually not on my PowerPoint. It's on my OneNote screen. Sorry for misleading you that way. All right, here we go. All right. What you're seeing here in NLP and hypnosis is what we call the hierarchy of beliefs. Now, if you're a student of the law of attraction, you'll often hear people say you'll attract things into your life that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Okay? The problem is that they don't actually tell you what your dominant thoughts actually are. One of the things that the dominant thoughts are the unconscious programs running below the threshold of conscious awareness. Okay. Pardon my typos, because as you can see, this is live. So anyway, below the threshold of conscious awareness, what does that actually mean? It means you have two kinds of beliefs, two kinds of thoughts. You have thoughts that you know about, and thoughts you do not. It's the thoughts you don't know about, the beliefs you don't know about, that will actually hold you back. Now, in order for you to discover the real truth behind those beliefs you don't know about, you have to provoke them. Let me say that again. In order for you to unlock the beliefs you don't know about, you have to provoke them. How do we do that? How do we start finding the secret barriers to our success that are keeping us from doing the next thing in the success formula, which is what? Taking action. Right? What are the mindset issues that we have? What are the skill set issues that we have, right? For those of you who request it by email, I'll make a little PDF of some of these notes for you, and you can actually have them for yourself. So the first thing I want us to play with is I want us to start looking at identity and how we begin to hack our identity skills and hack our belief systems to create an identity or a person that can in fact have the life that we want the way that we want it. Is that a good place to start? Type in the chat if you think that's a good place to start. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to talk about a success formula that I teach all of my students. This is called the Universal Persuasion Protocol. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about this in other webinars. After you start going through your package, there'll be a whole training on this Universal Persuasion Protocol. But there's 2 steps, actually 3, in that Universal Persuasion Protocol that translate directly into success in the world and in your own mind and body. So the first one is know your outcome. Know your outcome. You got to know what it is you want. So on the piece of paper I asked you to get earlier, when you saw the advertisement for tonight's training, there was something you wanted to do or be able to do as a byproduct of tonight's training. Is that true or not true? If that's true, type it in the chat. Okay. I want you to take a moment in whatever, when you started to think about that, there was a certain way that your neurology phrased it to you. Okay. I want you to physically write that down on a piece of paper right now. When you've done that, write done or type done in the chat. Type done in the chat. Cool. Excellent. Now, let's make sure it's the right thing. I want you to read it first of all, scan your body. Notice how your body feels right now. Now read that sentence out loud 3 times and tell me what happens in your body. Tell me what feelings come up in your body. Just type it in the chat. Question mark, okay. Did you get a good feeling, a not good feeling? Did you have desire? Did fear come up? Confusion came up? Okay. Well, my throat got tight. What was the question? Sorry. Read I just asked you to write a statement, and I want you to notice what happened. Okay, beautiful. Rebecca, was the emotion a positive emotion, a negative emotion, or both? Notice what I said, positive emotion, negative emotion, or both? Positive, excellent. All right. How many was it primarily positive? If it was primarily or all positive, type all positive in the chat. If it was all negative, type all negative in the chat. If it was a mixture, type a percentage. Like what ratio was it? 60, 40, 20, 70, or 20, 80? Questioning positive, okay. All negative, okay. Congratulations. You just discovered some of the thoughts and beliefs you didn't know you had. Okay, now if it was all positive, great. We can just go on with the next phase. But here's the thing, for those of you who had any kind of a split, this is something that you need to understand if you're going to reprogram your own mind and body. Your neurology creates lessons and beliefs about experiences. Okay, and even when and the only time that you become aware of those programs running below the threshold of your conscious awareness is when someone like me comes along and asks you to go for something you want, but you haven't been able to get. Right? When you think about something you really want, ideally, it should fill you with desire and joy, right? But all of a sudden, all these other things come up, right? It's because your neurology has attached limiters, little programs and subroutines to that desire, to that outcome that are keeping you from getting it. Now, before we start vilifying our nervous system and saying, oh, I can't trust my own subconscious, remember this, and this is important. Every single thing that your unconscious mind is creating in your mind and body. Now, this is hard to believe, but it's true. Every feeling, even all the icky, nasty, broken feelings you're carrying around, your neurology created those things to protect you or do something positive for you. Okay? Your neurology wants to survive and move your genes forward, right? That's its job. Its primary goal is to keep you safe and to keep you alive. Notice I didn't say happy. Notice I didn't say necessarily successful by your conscious mind's expectations, right? Its primary goal is to keep you alive. But for most of us, we want to do more than just survive. True or not true? True or not true? Okay. So if you want something different, you have to think differently and you have to do things differently. You need an identity that supports it. You need to be willing to take the actions, no matter how scary or challenging they may need to be, to get a different life, right? You guys all heard the old joke. What's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing 1,000 times and expecting a different result. Okay. So why am I telling you this? Because as we go through tonight's webinar, I'm going to be provoking a lot of shit. Limiting beliefs are going to come up. Understand that that's normal. It's supposed to happen when a nervous system is trying to keep you the same. Let me repeat that. Everything your nervous system has done has worked to get you to this level of your life. And as far as your nervous system is concerned, it considers that a win. Consciously, you may have very different ideas about those results. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you this little message. I'm going to tell you a story from my life, and then I'm going to challenge you to learn the lesson and take the appropriate actions. If you want a different life, you have to take a different action. For the first 33 years of my life, I avoided college like the plague. I did everything that I could to prove that I was smart enough, good enough, successful enough. And I had some very successful businesses. I was a martial artist for many years. I ran several martial arts schools. But because when I was a teenager and I went into the admissions office of a college here, one of the guys behind the desk who was wearing a priest collar led me to believe I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't going to be talented or smart or successful. And I believed him for many years. So I didn't start college till I was 33 years old. And you've heard some of my story, but some of it you haven't. But one of the things that happened to me when I had a very wonderful woman literally drag me by the ear into the admissions office of one of the local colleges in Oklahoma City. And by some miracle, I got in, right? In fact, I scored really well. But I realized something that first semester. I realized something that if I wanted the next 33 years of my life, because that's when I started, 33, if I wanted the next 33 years of my life to be different, I had to be different. Now, prior to 33 years of age, if you'd have gone to the dictionary and looked up introvert, non-joiner, rebel without a clue, loner, into your Wikipedia or your software, my picture would have come up. I was the biggest introvert, loner. I didn't join anything. If it wasn't martial arts or pressure points or how to pick up girls or whatever, I really wasn't interested. I didn't go to parties. I didn't go to clubs. I was not that guy. But I realized walking into that campus maybe it was the first week, I realized something, especially after the first semester, that if I wanted a different life, I was going to have to do something different. And it terrified me. It scared me. My brain generated all these reasons why I shouldn't be doing it. It's going to take too long. It's too much energy. It's too much money. What if they don't like you? What if it doesn't work? What if blah, 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 blah. I bring this up because you're going to have those thoughts in some way as we go through tonight's webinar. Understand and recognize them for what they are. Your neurology's attempts to keep you the same. It's not doing it out of maliciousness. It's not doing it because it wants to hurt you. It's doing it because everything that has gotten you to this point, it thinks of as being successful because you're alive. How many of you want to be more than just alive? Anybody? How many people want to actually have a life the way they want it? True, not true. Okay, I'm warning you ahead of time because it's going to fucking happen. Oh, I should have done. I think I told you, politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offend you. Probably not the best place for you, right? Okay, so tonight I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to ask you to do things that are going to terrify you. I'm going to ask you to do something different so you can have something different. Now, some of you, you're going to go for it. Others, you're not ready. It's okay. My experience has been clinically 17 years, shoveling other people's shit. I lovingly call myself a special kind of stupid, that people don't change until they've suffered enough. How many of you are tired of suffering? Anybody? Type it in chat. Okay. So let's close some loops. Type it in. Good. I want to see that. This is the sauce. Okay. When you spoke those words that you wrote down out loud, it provoked the negative programs that are keeping you the same. It provoked the negative belief systems connected to keeping you from getting the things that you want. That's why I did it. But it's also because the things that came out of your mouth are the things your heart truly desires to feel happy and fulfilled. Okay. In other trainings, you'll hear me refer to this process called the emotional motivation checklist. The building blocks of your identity are your belief systems. One of the primary and strongest building blocks of your belief system is your core values. Okay. You have a set of, think of your brain like a three-part form on the internet. It has a checklist, things you check boxes that you check off. When those boxes get checked off, your body generates a feeling, and you have a name for that feeling. You guys with me so far? So you have a checklist, a body feeling, and a name for that body feeling. Okay, I'm not going to get any more complicated than that, but it's important because when you tap into those values, depending on how you do it, your nervous system will either throw up blocks or energy. In other words, it'll give you access to energy that it's been holding in reserve. Okay, sometimes, as some of you discovered, you get both, and that's cool. Why? Because how many of you realize that you know exactly where the positive feelings in your body were? Yes or yes? And you also know exactly where the not so positive feelings were. True or not true? Okay, here's the magic. It's so true, we even put it on a poster. If you can point to where you feel those things, you can change them. Okay, there's a whole system of science behind why this works and how this works. You don't need to know that. You just need to know that if I can isolate the feeling I want to change and I can point to it, I can change it. Now, first bonus of the night. You've learned how to provoke. You've learned about emotions. You've learned about identity and action. Victoria says if you can point to where you feel something, you can heal it. 1,000%. Now, some people are really dissociated from their issues, and you'll ask them to point to it, and they'll point outside of themselves. Doesn't matter. If they can point to it, they can change it. Okay. Just to close a loop really quick, because of that decision I made to do something different, by the time I moved from Oklahoma to California, I had graduated from Oklahoma State University with honors. I was the editor of the Cowboy newspaper. I was the regional president of Phi Theta Kappa, which is the National Honor Society for two-year colleges. I was the only work study with his own office. I was on full ride scholarships through the entire college undergraduate career. I was put in the honors program, and I didn't even apply for it. Okay. I was appointed regional president of the Phi Theta Kappa organization over Arkansas and Oklahoma, which is an elected position. Okay, they literally nominated me and just gave me the position. Okay, I was hired by my college to work in the recruiting office. Okay, that's just what one decision. I graduated with a 4.0. I was nominated to the Oklahoma All-State Academic Team. Okay, lots, and I actually ran for international president of Phi Theta Kappa. If you go back over the archives, you may find me on stage or see my little interviews. My point is, guys, I was terrified of all of it. I came up with all kinds of reasons why I shouldn't do it. And you know what? They were all bullshit. They were programs and tapes and limiting beliefs that my nervous system was playing because transformation is stressful. Transformation means going into an unknown territory. And your neurology has a bias. It will happily lavish in the uncomfort it knows versus the uncomfortability of something that's potentially better. I didn't design the system. I'm just reporting to you how it worked. You can believe me or not. It's not going to change my life one bit, but it sure as hell could change yours. Okay, so I taught you something, a skill, without you even realizing it, and that is how to provoke and recognize and locate the somatic address, the somatic location of where all of these limiting beliefs and things are stored. Okay, one of the things that I learned in my Systema training, I've been a career martial artist. One of the things that Systema taught us better than anything else was how to become aware of putting stress on the body and the tapes and programs that run whenever your body doesn't want to change. Okay. Now, I know it's getting kind of negative, and how to provoke. Think of something you want. Notice where the body feelings are. Notice where the positive feelings are. Notice where the negative feelings are and point to it. Once you can point to it, now you can unpack it. Once you can unpack it, you can change it. So by a show of hands in the chat, on a more positive note, how many of you would like to be up to 30% better, 33%, 31% better at everything? Anybody? Okay, here's how you do it. Take everything I'm teaching you and move through the world in a fun, playful, outgoing, easygoing attitude, and you will actually be up to 31% more perceptive, more creative, more adaptable, more behaviorally flexible, and you'll become up to 31% more charismatic, persuasive, and influential. Anybody here, what would happen in your life if 30% more people found you likable, trustworthy, and attractive? What would happen? Would that make a change in your life? What if up to 31% more people told you yes to your requests, to your instructions, to your directions? Here's this first hack. Just be playful. Be fun-loving, be explorational, be easygoing. This statistic comes from the Behavioral Analysis Division of the FBI, specifically in context of hostage negotiation. They discovered that when the hostage negotiator was more explorational, laid back, easygoing, he was up to 31% better at everything he was doing. 31% better. Not only that, his counterpart, the hostage taker, the bad guy, was up to 31% more compliant. Now think about that for a moment. This is not like just getting your kids to take out the trash. This is somebody who's going to put a bullet in somebody else if his demands aren't met. He's not in a happy place, right? He's under a high stress situation, and just by being more explorational, more relaxed, more curious, that person became 31%, up to 31% more compliant and willing to do what this negotiator was asking him to do. Do you think it might translate to the real world or to your applications? That's how you begin the process of powerful change. If you can wrap a playful, curious, explorational energy around everything that we're doing, even the most heinous shit you can think of, you're going to be amazed at what your nervous system can do and what it's capable of. So there's three things in the universal persuasion protocol that you have to understand. You have to have an outcome. You have to know what you want. That's what you did when you wrote down what you wanted to get as a byproduct of tonight's training. That's what you did. You wrote down your outcome. What do you want to be able to do? All right. The second is you got to control your state. What state should you be in? Well, that depends on what state you're in currently, right? So there's two aspects to that. A, do I feel like I deserve to have it? Are all of my internal body feelings harmonized and in the right direction, right? You figured that out by reading your statement out loud 2 or 3 times and noticing where in your body those feelings came up and what quality feelings you had. Now, some of you, it was 100% good. Some of you, it was 70% good, 30% not so good. Some of you, it was 100% bad. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you found it. Now that you found it, you can actually do something with it. You'll be more powerful with it if you wrap it in a fun, playful, oh, let's explore this and see what my nervous system is actually doing to create this kind of an energy. Are you guys with me so far? Is this useful? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So here's the next piece. I want you to get, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint for this one, because this one you're going to need to see. Okay. And remember, none of the things that I'm teaching you tonight will make a change in your life unless you actually decide to do the things I'm telling you to do for your own reasons. Okay. I've told you what can come up. I'm telling you what things are going to try and get in your way. You have to decide, are you ready to stop suffering and start thriving? That being said, let's look back at at my OneNote and talk about what we call the emotional motivation checklist, okay? This is important. Okay, so I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. You are welcome to take a screenshot of this. This is not a perfect template, but it's one that, if you truly understand it, is going to pay it off huge dividends in your life. Remember that everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. So at the beginning of the webinar, I asked you to write down on the top of your sheet, I asked you to write down, when you saw me promoting this webinar, how to reprogram your unconscious mind for success, health, wealth, and happiness. I asked you what it is you wanted to be able to do as a byproduct of tonight's webinar. And I asked you to write that down. So the first question is very simple. What do you want? Okay, you did that already. Below that, I want you to write another question. If you got that, if you got the thing that you wrote at the top of your sheet, what's that going to do for you? I want you to take a moment and physically write out in the exact words that come up from your unconscious mind. In other words, don't edit it. However it comes up, write that on your sheet. What's that going to do for you? When you've done that, when you've accomplished that, type done in the chat. Okay. Let me just look at, actually my chat box closed. So type in the chat. Control your state. Know your outcome, control your state, get rapport. Those three things. We're going to talk about rapport in just a minute. This is actually the pointing to where we feel it and finding the icky feelings and the not icky feelings. That's actually part of the rapport training. Okay. Crazy High says, I just made my first sale in solar today. This stuff definitely works, but it all starts with you. Boom. Doesn't get much harder than solar, except for maybe door-to-door insurance, right? This stuff works, guys, but you gotta, again, you gotta have the action component. You gotta put it into practice. That's why I want you to have fun. I want it to be simple. If it's simple and it's fun, you'll probably do it. If it's hard or it's complex, you probably won't. So just take the tidbits I'm giving you, apply them, have the experience, and decide how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. After the okay, I'll get to that question in a minute, RS. All right, so Jill says she's done. Anybody else? Everybody else is done? Perfect. Okay, now, so you have, what do I want to get as a byproduct of tonight's webinar? What it's going to do for you? Ask yourself this next question. What's important about that? Let's say you got A, and it's doing for you what you want to do. What's important to you about getting that? Is it wealth? Is it freedom? Is it security? What sentence or word comes up from your deep unconscious mind that lets you know what this is going to do for you? Write that down. Use the exact words that come up. Okay? What's important to you about it? Now, like I said, so the example I have here is like, what's it going to do for you? I'm going to have wealth, freedom, or security. I'll be able to pay rent on time. And if we're able to have the wealth and security to be able to pay my rent on time, what's that? What's important to that? So I know I can support my family or secure, safe, right? Okay. Whatever comes up first, that's the exact words that you use. Now stop for a moment and imagine you've got that. As a byproduct of tonight's training, you're now able to do the thing you said you wanted to be able to do. It's doing the thing for you that you want it to do. What's important about that is coming up. And now that that's coming up for you, what's that going to do for you? What's important about having that? Follow the sequence. We're drilling down into your own personal belief value system, right? There is no right or wrong here. The important thing is that whatever comes up, put it on the page in the exact words that they came up. You're going to have an urge to edit it. I get that. Avoid it for now. Okay? When you've got that down, type done in the chat. Right? I'm going to, I think I'm going to have a better, here's a little better. You can actually take a screenshot of this if you want to. Okay, this is where it gets cool. See, I'm teaching you things. I'm teaching you a technique that has multiple applications on many different levels. So here's where it gets interesting. So you should have at least 3 or 4 answers on your sheet. True or not true? Can I show the screen again? Yes. Okay. Can you guys see it? I recommend you take a screenshot. This is really important. In this one exercise, I've just given you the secret to making redonkulous amounts of money with other people, to overcoming your limiting beliefs, to blowing the doors off procrastination. But you have to understand the nuances of this process and how it fits into the overall system. But to get you moving forward, to tap into those lockdown energy reserves inside of you, this is where we start. Okay? If you've got that, if you're done, type done in the chat. Okay. Okay, perfect. So here's where it gets interesting. Now, how many of you noticed, by show of me or not me in the chat, how many of you noticed when you were writing the answers to that, you felt emotions? True or not true? Okay, good. Now, I don't normally do this, but for you guys tonight, I want you guys to draw a little stick figure. Okay, little stick figure. And what I want you to do is I want you to mark where on your body the positive ones were and where the not so positive ones were. We call this a body map. Okay. Now, most of the time you don't need this, but this is something that you can use as a self-clearing tool, right? Because sometimes as we're going through things, I'll say something and a feeling will come up. Point to where you feel it and mark it on your little body map so you can go back and fix it later with the tools I'm going to give you tonight. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. When you checked in with your body, a lot of you had happy feelings anywhere on your body. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to stand up. Now, if you're driving, obviously don't do this. Okay, if you're driving, don't do this. But for those of you who aren't driving, I want you to hold your piece of paper up at about a 45-degree angle. I'm gonna get a little bit lower so my body blocks it. No, actually, I'm just disappear when I do that. All right. So I want you to hold this up at about a 45-degree angle. Right. My virtual screen keeps making it disappear. So we'll just pretend. Right. And I want you to physically read out loud everything you wrote, all the answers to all of your questions. You don't need to write the question or read the questions, but take in a strong, loud voice, I want you to only read the answers to your questions out loud 5 or 6 times. When you've done that, type done in the chat. So Sherry's feeling it in the thighs. Victoria's wearing on your body. Light shoulders. Heart feels open, both in the heart. Okay. Read it out loud, nice and loud. This is important. This is called declaration. There's tremendous power in your voice, especially when you combine it with where we're going. Albert says heart. Tim says, I seem to have a block as to what I really want. Okay. Pretend it's not there and what comes up. Face feels lifted, liberating. What does it mean if I get a headache? It means energy's rushing to your head and there's a block there that needs to be released. And that's okay, because that's where we're going next. I know how I want to feel. Okay. All right. So by show of hands, or by just type your answers in the chat, what happened to your energy level? What happened to your desire for these things as you were reading them out loud? Went up, increased, increased. Excellent. So for the vast majority of you, it increased. You may have noticed nervous system spike, right? Now think about this. How much do you want those things right now? Scale of 0 to 10. Crying, wanting them even more? Okay, let me ask you a question. Why do you want it so much? Why didn't you rate it less? My family? Okay. Excellent. Okay. So I want it now. Okay. For those of you who want it now, with your permission, I told you I was going to teach you some very powerful, very important things to move forward in life. Have I been helping you with that so far? Okay. With your permission, can I show you what I've put together for you in part 2 of the webinar, and you can decide how far down the David rabbit hole you want to go with me, so I can teach you how to have the life you want the way that you want it. And then I'm going to come back and I want to teach you guys, for those of you who had a negative eruption, you had the positive one, but you noticed some icky stuff in the background, we're going to show you how to get rid of that shit once and for all. That's part 3. Does that sound like a plan? Okay, excellent. So with your permission then, keeping in mind everything you said you wanted as a byproduct from tonight's webinar, I want to introduce to you a set of packages I put together called the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course. This is all about giving you the tools to reprogram your unconscious mind and the physical tools you need to persuade and influence people to do whatever you want, whenever you want it. If you had mixed feelings on the previous exercise, don't worry, we're going to show you how to fix that, and we're going to show you how to fix it fast. Just bear with us till the end of the webinar. Okay, the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course is all about taking your life to the next level. It's about making a decision to get the skill sets and the mindsets, the identity that allows you to take the actions that allow you to be the person that you want to be, and rather than the person that society conspired to program you to be. Okay, it's about quickly helping yourself attract more money, become more attractive and successful, to free yourself from limiting beliefs and blocks to success, to avoid self-sabotage once and for all, to be finally more confident in a way that actually leads to a better life and success, to help more people, to become empowered and more powerful, charming, charismatic, irresistible, and so much more. Right? If you're tired of always falling short, if you want the brass ring, these skills have changed my life in ways that I can only begin to hint at. They have changed the lives of my students. I consider you one of my students, whether you've been in Planet David 6 years or 6 minutes or 6 months, I don't care. They will change your life. Here's what we got. Now, this is a good offer, but it expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight, so you're going to want to stay on to the end of the webinar, because, again, I want you to get into action. Here's what's going to happen for you. The Secrets of Personality Transformation is a 14-video home study program that teaches you the 7 discrete steps to transforming and reprogramming your unconscious mind by changing your identity and aspects of your personality. This process is a mind control training silo that I developed originally to teach aspiring pickup artists how to have the inner game, the confidence, the ability to take action and go forward in very, very uncertain and intimidating circumstances. What I didn't realize when I created this was how powerful the overall tools in this 7-stage system would become. When I started testing this on people, they immediately, and again, I remember I developed it for people to go out and become more attractive and charismatic and dominant. What I didn't realize that it was going to infiltrate itself into every aspect of that person's life. Their relationships at home got better. They got more promotions at work. They got less flack. They got less bullied. They got more assertive and dominant and confident in their world. Every aspect, they got healthier, for God's sakes, because they weren't constantly stressed out and suppressing all their negative shit, right? It was amazing. So this process became so powerful, guys, that I realized I couldn't just teach it for attraction purposes. And I've literally been using it with live patients in my therapy clinic for 17 years. 17 years I've been using this to get people over some of the most heinous problems in their life. Everything from rape trauma, domestic abuse, active shooters, war trauma, if you can name it, I've probably had it in the chair. I've worked with homicide detectives, rabbis, PhDs in psychology. I've worked with victims of childhood rape and trauma, cult abuse, using this process. It's super powerful. So it's going to teach you systematically how to clear unconsciously held negative emotions and beliefs. That's module 1. It's a $297 value. We're going to move on from there to removing the unconscious safety rules that are keeping you stuck. You remember earlier I told you that your unconscious mind wants you to survive, and it considers that a win. And so what happens is it looks at every experience that you've had, and it attaches rules and little subroutines and programs to those memories, so that anytime you find yourself in a similar situation, those programs start to activate, and they keep you from making a different choice. They keep you from taking an action that may move your life forward, because it feels like the risk, if you took that risk, or if you took that step, it would endanger you in some way. And it would rather keep you stuck than can give you a chance at something better. I don't make the rules, but that's how your unconscious mind tends to think. I'm going to show you how to fix that. It's a $297 value. Then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the negative voices in your head that hold you back. We all have had a voice from time to time, many of us still do, that's telling us all the reasons why we shouldn't do things, why we don't deserve it, why we can't have it, why we don't need it, why it's too much work, or it's too expensive, or it takes too much time. Right? These voices are not your fault. These voices were put in your head at a time when you had absolutely no defense against them. I'm going to show you how to find them, find the roots of them, rip them out by their roots, and put in a new voice, a different voice, a voice that is going to give you and teach you and tell you all the reasons why you deserve to have the things you want, how you can succeed, why you should be succeeding. A voice that lifts you up instead of tears you down. This one technique alone is worth twice the price. When I do this in our live trainings, there is not a dry eye in the house, and people can't go back to being that old person anymore. This is huge. Okay, it's a $297 value, but you can think about how many times that other voice in your head, the one that's trying to keep you the same, that's trying to tell you all the reasons why you don't deserve it, has kept you from taking the actions that you know you needed to take. If you're tired of it and you're ready to change it, stay with us. What if we could install 4 powerful emotional states that move you forward? One of the things I discovered, remember at the beginning of the webinar, I told you guys that when we talk about health, wealth, success, and happiness, that you have to be careful about happiness. Why? Because while happiness is a desirable state, it's also what we call an end state. Comfort zones are wonderful things, but nothing ever grows there. And so that was the problem that I encountered when I was putting together this system. I had to find positive, desirable states that actually cause people to want to take action, to want to move forward. And I went through as many states. I went from excitement to ecstasy to joy to enlightenment and peace. And and even though there's probably more states, I found 4. I found 4 powerful, positive driver states that, even though they're fun and they're pleasurable and they're joyful, they still inspire and entice the body to take actions. Those 4 states are playfulness, curiosity, victory, and relentlessness. What I created for you guys was a process to install these 4 driver states inside of you so that they become your default when you're moving through the world. And this is one of the states you're going to be operating from. You see the world through the eyes of curiosity and possibility. You see the world through the eyes of playfulness and opportunity. You see the world through the eyes of a winner. And you embrace a sense of relentless drive and determination to go for the things that you want in a way that makes life your own personal video game. Okay? There's a very specific process that we use for installing these 4 driver states. And we also install in you little trigger mechanisms, little anchors and keywords that whenever you need an extra boost of that energy, whenever you want to magnify and multiply those states to where they're off the charts, You just rub a little magic ring or say a magic word to yourself, and poof, that energy doubles and triples in size and strength, doubles and triples in force and magnitude, and you're ready to take action and be a winner. Okay, that's step 4 of the Identity by Design silo. It's a $297 value, but imagine what you can do with that, right? What if we could systematically, think about this, what if we could systematically go back through your entire history and pull all of the negative energy out of your past memories and traumas so that when you look back on the past, they had absolutely zero effect on you. And in fact, you only could remember things that made your life better. That the energy of all that extra energy that was being used to make you feel bad, to make you feel afraid, to make you come up with reasons not to take action. What if that was all loaded into your positive memories so that your positive memories became so powerful, so irresistible, it just fired you out of the starting gate like a rocket? That's the next step in the Identity by Design silo. This is what we call temporal editing. This is where we go back and we pull all the crap out of your past so that when you look back on that past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. It's a $297 value. Now take that, these 4 steps, these 4 or 5 steps that we've talked about, how to clear unconscious negativity and emotions and beliefs you didn't even know you had, how to remove the safety rules that are keeping you from taking different actions so you can be something different, removing of negative voices in your head that hold you back, installing these 4 powerful driver personal power states, removing the negativity from your past. What if we could take those 5 things and install it at your DNA level? How many of you, if you're familiar with Bruce Lipton's work on epigenetics, you know that your belief systems change your DNA. Well, what if we could directly install these mechanisms into your DNA so that every time you encounter a situation or circumstance, these 4 or 5 things automatically engage and cause you to process the experiences in a completely different way that only empowers you, that inspires you, motivates you, makes you feel unstoppable? To think about it the right way instead of the way you were programmed to think about it before this intervention. That's stage 6, where everything becomes automatic for you. Okay, now take that. What if we could take the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you admire, your personal heroes, people who are really good at things, and install those skills and those attitudes and those beliefs into your very own neurology so that they become like little seeds that get planted and you actually start to embody and personify and express those traits, qualities, and characteristics? What could you do with a platform like we designed and now add those new skills on top of it? What would you be able to accomplish? What will you be accomplishing as a byproduct of that training? That's stage 7. Okay, we're going to walk you through step by step how to do all 7 stages. We're going to teach you, we're going to give you the Identity by Design course manual, which is something we teach to our therapy practitioners, right? It comes with a lot of extra training. It's a $418 value. It's going to have instant and rapid inductions in it, specific exercises. If you're tired of suffering, you know what to do. When the opportunity comes, there's going to be a link. Go ahead and click it. What if you had access to a community of people just like you who were tired of suffering, who wanted more from their life, who were tired of getting the same results over and over and over again? We're going to show you how to do that. Total value on this program, and I'm underselling this, is $2,497. However, if you grab this program tonight, if you decide you want something different, you want to be something different, you want to do something different so you can have something different, then I'm going to throw in a bunch of extra bonuses that are going to make this an absolute no-brainer. If you're tired of being in it, if you want to get out of hell, as one of my colleagues in the internet marketing space likes to say, if you want to get out of hell, this will help you do it. If you grab your course tonight, you're going to get these special exclusive bonuses. 1, you're going to get the actual Identity by Design hypnotherapy home study course. Now, the program I just explained to you is designed for you to use on yourself. You can do this stuff on your own, by yourself, in the comfort of your own home. But let's say you decide you want to help other people. Let's say you actually want to have your own business and make money, maybe as a side hustle, maybe as a different, an alternative business to the one that you're in. This is the program that lays the foundation for you to help other people do all the things I'm teaching you how to do right now. It's a full spectrum 5-day recording of a hypnotherapy certification program. Now, I recommend you come to live events whenever possible, but if you want something that'll get you started right away, there's no law that says you can't. Okay, I'm going to teach you systematically how to take your clients and unlock the power of their subconscious mind. You'll be able, and as a byproduct of that, you're going to have the ability to literally hypnotize anyone, anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. In fact, raise your hand, veterans. We actually have it on record. We have at least 2 or 3 people in the chat right now who went through this program in the lobby of a hotel undergoing renovations next to an active jackhammer with 100% success. The environment was completely not quiet. There were people all around. They put people in trance and got the results in spite of that. Holly, Seth, I know you're in here. Go ahead and type. I was there, right? Don't believe me, believe these people. Okay, there's a reason why these guys are my inner circle. These guys are absolutely unstoppable. They can do this shit anywhere. Okay, because we blow through the myths of hypnosis. The myth that you need a quiet environment, that you even need someone to believe in what you're doing for it to work, right? There's so much power in you guys, but you need a training process that allows you to bring it out. Okay, you'll be able to hypnotize anyone. I guarantee it. If you follow the instructions and you do the drills, hypnosis will be so easy you'll wonder why this was ever hard. Okay, we'll teach you how to systematically remove any block to success or limiting beliefs, to find and remove traumas, to find and remove the hidden negativity and safety lessons, the little subroutines that are actually trying to keep you stuck. I'm going to show you how to remove it all. How to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away. If you've ever had an issue, you've gone to get treated or get in therapy and it goes away and then all of a sudden it comes back, or maybe it starts to diminish and it gets to a certain level and it just doesn't get any better. We have techniques for that, right? In fact, we're going to show some of those to you tonight as a byproduct of tonight's training, okay? We're going to teach you how to get rid of those issues that just don't seem to go away. We're going to teach you how to help your clients change that crappy voice inside their head so that it builds them up and moves them forward instead of holding them back. We're going to teach you how to teach your clients how to resolve the negativity from their past so you can set them free, just like I'm teaching you how to set yourself free. We're going to teach you how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of the people your clients admire and want to be more like, and so much more. You'll learn instant and rapid inductions. You'll learn conversational hypnosis. You'll learn a 30-minute consultation process that has a ridiculously high conversion rate. You'll be able to take anybody from a prospect to a client in 30 minutes or less. It's really, really powerful, and the change work sticks. And that's probably one of the most important things. You'll be able to do this anytime, anywhere, with anyone, under any circumstance, and the change work will stick. Okay, this course is a $1,497 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free because you're willing to take the actions, because you're willing to do something different so you can be something different and have something different. Total combined value, if you took what the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study course, combined it with the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Certification Bootcamp, $3,994, but we're not going to stop there. I want you to have every single tool that you need to be successful from the comfort of your own home at first. And when you can get to a live event, we'll take it even further. We're going to include, this is an extra bonus, the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Made Easy Home Study course. This is a course that I teach for people who are focused. Yeah, let me try that again. This is a course that I teach for people who are specifically focused on the art and science of manifestation. So much of how we manifest goes back to how and what we do with our own unconscious mind. So this course also is a $1,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. It's going to teach you how to unlock the power of your subconscious mind to attract and remove blocks to health, wealth, and happiness that you didn't even know you had, to become a money magnet. We'll talk about money personalities and how different people work with money and how those things can hold them back or cause them to overspend or underspend on certain things. We'll teach you how to influence people remotely, how to find and remove the hidden negativity that's blocking your manifestations, how to clear up manifestation and law of attraction issues that just don't seem to go away. If you've been trying to manifest something for years and years and years and it just doesn't seem to happen, we'll show you how to troubleshoot that. Now, you may not like the reasons you find but at least it'll be honest and you can decide if they're worth clearing up or not. The short answer to that is they're almost always worth clearing up, even in spite of the programming that says it's too much time, it's too expensive, it's not worth it, right? Remember that those are just programs trying to keep you the same. Now, if you want to be the same, you shouldn't be on this webinar. I'll be honest with you, okay? If you want something different, you got to do something different, right? It's not about being something right away sometimes. We'll get you there, right? It's a feedback loop. We're going to teach you how to attract the things you want and change what you feel you deserve so you can have even more. Okay. I learned a couple of really cool mind hacks from one of my mentors, Dr. John LaTourette, many, many years ago about how to actually do a workaround on your subconscious mind so that you can actually pull things into your life that you don't feel you deserve. It's actually really cool. It's interesting, the dynamics of the unconscious mind and what you can literally do with it once you understand the dynamics of the system. We're going to teach you how to resolve all the negativity from your past so that when you look back on that past, you think about it in ways that only make your life better, that inspire you and motivate you and cause you to take the actions that lead to success in the real world. I'm going to teach you the two most powerful engines of transformation and manifestation I have ever discovered. Using it, you can literally change the texture and the taste of water by doing 5 minutes of this and holding a bottle of water in your hand. You can actually change the physical characteristics of solid matter or liquid matter and much, much, much more. We'll talk about the 5 characteristics of lucky people and how you can use the identity by design process to install those traits inside of you. We'll teach you about the yin formation method for tapping into the unstoppable power of your unconscious mind and circumventing the limiting beliefs that are holding that energy from being expressed so you can be more motivated, more energized, and move forward. There's a lot more to this program. It's a $1,497 value. We're going to give this to you free. Total combined value of everything we just talked about is $5,491 if you went to the website and tried to buy them individually, which some of these you're actually not going to be able to. Now, all this time, we've been talking about what I call inner game skills, how to use your mind, how to begin to program your own other than conscious mind to get people or to get your own body and mind to take the actions you need to take. But there's another skill set just as important, not quite in terms of getting your mind right, but in terms of being able to externalize and express these skill sets. You need a vessel for all this inner game work that you've been doing and creating to express itself. So we're going to include for you the secrets in the secrets of personality transformation. Wait a minute, that's what the hell happened? Pardon me, somehow it just jumped. Here. Sorry about that. We're going to include the real world conversational hypnosis, stealth CPI, universal persuasion protocol training. This is actually, I've given you the inner persuasion skills to be more attractive, charismatic, relentless, playful, curious, victorious. Now we're going to give you the exact persuasion formula that you need to move through the world, exerting and expressing that charisma in the most hypnotically irresistible way humanly possible. We're going to teach you how to use conversational persuasion technology to make yourself the person everyone wants to listen to, who have people hanging on their every single word, and who can actually cause people to want to do the things that you want them to do for their own reasons and like, love, and trust you for it. Okay. Let me just change something really, really quick here. I don't know what happened that here we go. My apologies. Okay. So every now and then weird stuff happens and we just have to roll with it. Okay. We're going to teach you how to emotionally bond and connect with anyone you meet at will. How many of you guys remember, just before I launched into phase 2 of our webinar, how many of you guys remember that little drill that we did where I had you read out loud the things you wanted and what it was going to do for you and what's important about that? How many of you remember that? You guys remember how you felt when you read it out loud to yourself? Let me ask you a question. What do you think would happen if you did that to a prospective client or someone you're trying to sell something with? Do you think they might want it? What if you were trying to motivate somebody to do something and get inspired, and you did this and you gave them these kinds of feelings? Do you think that might change the actions they take? Yes or yes? Right? Now, this is why I did the drill with you. I wanted to inspire you. I wanted to motivate you. I wanted to give you a true, valid, real world reason why you deserve to have these things. But at the same time, I was also training you in a basic way to do this with anyone you want to influence to do what you want them to do and have it happen for their own emotional reasons. Now, CPI, Stealth CPI will teach you all the nuts and bolts, every nuance you need to know to reach into a person's heart, find out what they want, bond it to you or your product or service, and have them act on their very own internal emotional reasons for wanting to do the thing. More often than not, they will ask you to do those things. The best part about it, guys and gals, is you will never have to lie, cheat, steal, misrepresent, or do anything icky, nasty, or underhanded in any way. People will love you for doing this with them. Okay? I'm going to teach you the most powerful language patterns that exist that cause people to emotionally bond with you. Your charisma is going to exponentially grow. And anytime you talk to a particular human being, you will have them hanging on your every word. I'm going to teach you 7 of the most other powerful language patterns that exist, patterns that allow you in an ethical and honest way to make anything you want cause anything you want in the minds of your subject. Okay, what if you had that ability to make anything you want cause anything you want in the minds of your subject, even if those things have absolutely nothing in common with each other, but their brain makes it happen? What if you could make somebody anything you want mean anything you want in the minds of your listener, your teams that you're trying to motivate, your clients, yourself? Right? What if you could use these simple neurological filters to put things together that change the way you perceive reality, and the people you're using them with change the way they perceive themselves and the reality that they live in? What if you could literally force a person's internal mind movies to be exactly what you say and describe with zero chance of misrepresentation, with zero chance, practically zero chance of resistance? What could you do with powers like this? Okay, that's only 3 of the patterns of the 7 that I'm going to teach you. Okay, what if you had made the ability to make people like, love, and trust you on command, sometimes in as little as 20 minutes, right? That's coming. That's part of this program. This is what you will actually be able to physically, verbally, textually do as a byproduct of this training. Okay, you have so much more charisma. What if you had the ability to control your own emotional states so fully and so completely that nobody could ever knock you off your game or make you feel bad about yourself ever again? We're going to show you how to do that. Okay, it's all part of this training. This is why we included this course in the mind control training home study course, because it's one thing to have the inner game, to have the sense of identity, the sense of deservingness, to be able to do these, to know you can have those things. But there's also what? Skill set issues. We said there's 2 things that hold people back: mindset and skill set. The next 2 programs, this one and the next one, are all about giving you a skill set, giving you the physical skills that you can take out and just apply instantly to get your results in the real world. And because it's combined with an inner you that's unstoppable, playful, curious, triumphant, you'll find you'll exert an amazing amount of charisma over anyone you interact with. But don't believe me, just apply the process. Follow the training, you'll be amazed. It's a $1,997 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free as part of tonight's package. Total combined value is $7,488. if you register before the end of the webinar. But we're not done, guys. We're not done. I'm also going to include one of the most powerful programs we've ever put out It's an advanced program, and it's called Renegade Reframing, how to rapidly change beliefs and instantly overcome any objection in just minutes. Now, let me explain this to you. Think about this for a moment. How many of you may have noticed that you have this voice in your head that's telling you all the reasons why you shouldn't do something, or why you can't do something, or why you don't deserve something? Type it in the chat. Are you with me? Okay. So think about this. What if on top of everything that I just described and explained to you, for every time that little voice reared its ugly head, you had 14 different weapons to absolutely destroy and annihilate that belief, to overcome any objection, to win any argument in yourself and in anyone you meet? What if you had 14 different ways to change exactly how somebody's thinking and create new possibilities, new opportunities, new ways of perceiving the world, and you could do it in seconds? What could you do with a superpower like that? Because that's exactly what this course will teach you how to do. It will teach you to take on any argument, any limiting belief, any objection, any reason that somebody has for not doing the thing you want them to do, and create in them a different mindset change, a shift in perspective and belief that allows them to actually do it and take action on it. The first person you should be using this on, by the way, is you. When we do our weekly coaching call, I have people write down all of their limiting beliefs on a piece of paper, and then I teach them 2 or 3 of these patterns, and I have them use those patterns on their own limiting beliefs. And by the time they're through into the second pattern, they can't go back to thinking about it the old way anymore. It's impossible, right? This is a really, really powerful system. It's talked about in NLP a lot, but nobody really understands it well. Okay? This one will teach you in the most fun, playful, user-friendly way how to use each of these 14 mind frame patterns to change any limiting belief and perspective on the world, literally in seconds. And that's before you start stacking them and combining them. If you just use them individually, it works like this. When you start stacking them and combining them and linking them together, you become an unstoppable force against any immovable object. It's literally that powerful. You'll overcome any objection, win any argument, change any belief in minutes, and that means your own too. This is really, really powerful, but it takes into consideration that you have Stealth CPI 1, right? Because this is kind of your get out of jail free card. If you screw something up in this Stealth CPI system, this allows you to fix it, right? So it eliminates the possibility of failing as long as you actually deploy the techniques and you do the training. It's a $1,997 value. It's yours for free. Okay, total combined value is $9,485. Now think about this for a moment. What could you do with a mindset and an identity and a belief system that gives you all the reasons why you deserve to have things, that removes the negativity, all the failures and memories of the past, and you have a set of qualities and characteristics that are the kind you want to have for yourself? Al's asking, should we order these? What order should we take? I would do them in the exact order that I'm explaining them to you, AV, because I designed them that way. Okay. You may find that you may spend more time on one section than the other, but I find that once the inner game is taken care of, the outer game gets even more powerful, right? Because we want you to be congruent in your delivery of these techniques. Okay. This is a really powerful 1-2 combination, but it's a great question. Total combined value is a $9,485 value. Okay, so let's just review what the offer is before you decide to grab it. Let me just review it for you, and then I'll show you where to go next. Okay, Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course, 14 videos plus the manual, which includes the 7-stage identity by design process. $2,497 value. We're going to include, free of charge, the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Home Study Course. It's a $1,497 value. This is a great way to prepare yourself to do work with other people. All right, we're going to give you the bonus number 2 is Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind Magic, and Manifestation Masterclass. This is a $1,497 value. You're going to get the Stealth CPI Level 1 Universal Persuasion Protocol training. This is the flagship training. This is the one that has changed more lives. It was actually this was the root of Killer Influence, the course that became the #1 NLP program in the world. Started from Stealth CPI. It was a variant. Okay, so that's how powerful this course is. It's a $1,997 value. And then finally, we're going to include in this package the ability to change any belief, overcome any objection, and win any argument or gaslighting attempt that people may try. If you're dealing with narcissists, manipulative people, this is the fastest way to knock them on their ass verbally and textually. Okay, Renegade Reframing, how to overcome any objection, change any belief instantly. It's a $1,997 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free as part of the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study package. Total value is $9,485. However, today, because I want you to do the one thing that most people won't do, take action, to do something different so they can be something different, so they can have something different. I want to make it easy for you and still be fair. I want to give you the best deal humanly possible. So you're not going to have to pay $9,485. You're not going to pay $6,347. We're not even going to charge you half price at $53.47 or $33.47. We're not going to charge you $23.47. That's even lower than the sale price of the actual program. I want you to be successful. I want to help you in a way that's fair. So you can get it all today for a low one-time investment of just $997. Do the math, guys. Do the math, right? Avoid those voices in your head that's telling you can't do it. Focus on all the reasons why you need to be doing it, okay? If you need a little help, we can make it even easier for you. We can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397, okay? All you got to do to get yours right now is go to www.nlppower.com/mind. www.nlppower.com/mind. That's www.nlppower.com/mind. If for some reason you can't get to the page, you can give Moss a call directly at 858-282-4663. That's 858-282-4663. Operators are standing by. We always get a rush of calls, so if you call and you get the voicemail, please leave your name and your contact information. If you do that, then you will actually qualify for the bonuses. If you don't leave that name, you won't qualify for any of the other goodies because I got more for you. You see, one of the things I keep talking about, one of the things I keep coming back to you with is the need for action. So just click that link right now. Now, some people say, well, David, what if this doesn't work? What if I got more stuff in the way than the course can handle? It's real simple. Call us. Call us and let us help you. Let us walk you through whatever sticking points that you have. And if after 60 days, you're not getting more money, if you're not closing more deals, attracting more success, if you're not on the fast track to manifesting the life of your dreams, if you're not more relentless, more confident, more victorious, more curious, more playful, more secure, more confident, if you're not feeling better about you and the life you lead, and you're not on the fast track to becoming the person you desire to be, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you back every penny that you invested in this program. If it's not working for you, I don't want your funds. If it's not working for you, I want you to find something that does work. Give us every chance to help you, to guide you, to mentor you. And if it's still not working, we'll give you all your money back. There's absolutely no risk to you right now. Grab your course, try it, do it. Don't try it, do it. Just do the drills in a fun, playful, explorational way. Take it out into the world, take it one piece at a time, notice the change that you cause in yourself and in other people, and build on that. And you'll find your life changing, either in quantum leaps or baby steps. As long as you're moving forward, that's a win, guys. As long as you're better today than you were yesterday, it's a win. But if you're not satisfied, if it's not working for you, then I, in good conscience, can't accept the money. I will give you your money back, okay? Try it for 60 days If it works, great, keep it, keep building on it. Okay. Go to www.nlppower.com/MIND. It's www.nlppower.com/MIND. Now, I keep talking about action. I keep talking about why do we need to get into action? Identity isn't enough, right? You got to be somebody in your own mind differently first, but then you got to do something different. And this is your chance. This is your Rubicon. This is your challenge. If you grab your course before October 16th, 2023, 11:59 p.m. tonight, I'm going to include the following 3 special bonuses. Now, let me be very clear. If you leave your contact information with Moss or Holly or Mia, then you will qualify for bonuses, all the bonuses. If you do not, if you call, you get the voicemail and you just hang up and want to call back tomorrow, the only thing you're going to qualify for, if any, are the 4 bonuses I described, right? But if you grab your course now before I log off the webinar, this is the limiter. If you grab your course now before I log off the webinar, I'm going to include the following special bonuses. Now, Rinky is asking, recommend a product to attract a husband. Start with Hidden Laws. Well, start with the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study course. Go into Hidden Laws of Attraction. And then if you want to, you can swap out one of the other courses for Soulmate Secrets. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. So the first bonus we're going to give you, the first fast action bonus we're going to give you is probably one of the most important, even though it's actually one of the lowest priced. It's actually one of the highest values. This is the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group. This is a 3-month trial membership. The way this works is on the 3rd Saturday of every month, people come to my NLP Power headquarters, or they log in through Facebook or Zoom. And I literally go around the room and I say, what do you want to learn today? Seth, what do you want to learn today? Sherry, what do you want to learn today? Mia, Lottie, what do you want to learn today? Brian, what do you want to learn today? Right? Joe, what do you want to learn today? Jeff, what do you want to learn today? Right? And I look and I write all the things they want to learn about, all the things they want to get better at. I put them on the board. And I create a lesson plan right on the spot. And for the next 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, we do drill after drill after drill until you can do those skills in your sleep. And you go out into the world and you apply those skills. You come back next month on the 3rd Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I'm going to ask you again, what do you want to learn today? Ricky, what do you want to learn today? Mia, what do you want to learn today? Lottie, what do you want to learn? Brandon, what do you want to learn? Joe, what do you want to learn? Jeff, what do you want to learn? And I'm going to create another lesson plan. And we're going to drill. And we're going to drill. And we're going to drill. And we're going to only focus on those skills, right? Some of you may have seen the mastermind that we did just this Saturday, where I literally had people here at the facility, and I had people on Zoom and in the Facebook group, and we were all training and drilling. That's the mojo. That's the stuff. Because if you have access to this, you have the opportunity to practice these skills in real time with real people and get real world feedback. This is what takes you from mere access to ownership. This is what puts those skills inside of you and allows you to express them and use them anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. Okay? There's a lot of really great questions on how Moss or Holly or Seth answer those questions. They're great questions, though. They're not, each training averaged about 40 hours in real time. So you're probably looking at about 30, 35 hours after editing and stuff like that, right? They're not small courses, but they're very progressive. They're very systematic. Now, this NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group, we've been running it nonstop since October of 2010. Do the math, guys. October, this month is our 10-year or 13-year anniversary. We have videotaped every single one of those trainings. We have archived every single one of those trainings, and we have released less than 1% of them on our YouTube channel. As a full access member of the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Group, you will have unlimited access for the entire time you're in the program to the 12-year video archive. Stuff that has never seen the light of day on YouTube, has never been featured in any product, short, ebook, nothing. Because it's member driven, you'll see a lot of the same stuff, from training to training, but you also see stuff that has never been in a product. Things like remote view, oh, that's not true, that's been in a product, like remote viewing, accelerated learning, memory enhancement, trauma resolution, instant and rapid inductions, hypnotic language patterns, face reading, behavioral modification training, mind control training, regression, remote viewing, remote influence, lie detection, body language, attraction and dating. It's all there because of massive amounts of meditative and energetic practices, energy healing, energy psychology. They're all there because that's what you, as my community, wanted to know about. So that's what we taught you. You'll be able to binge watch those 12 years of video archive to your heart's content for the full 90 days. At the end of 90 days, if you decide you want to stay, we'll show you how to make that happen. At the end of 90 days, you've gotten the skill sets that you came to learn. You're getting the results you want. Hey, you had 90 days of working and hanging out with the coolest people on the planet. All have the same interests that you have. You don't have to worry about getting burned at the stake, hashtagged or whatever, right? And you go off into the world to make your life what you want it to be. No strings attached, right? Total value on this is $1,597, $1,597 value. You're going to get it for free if you're one of the next 21 people to click that link right now. This is something that will transform everything. The more opportunities you get, that you make to actually externalize and express these skills, the more powerfully you'll be able to use them and have fun doing it. Total value on this is $11,082. But again, it's all about taking action. Take the action. Do the different thing. Okay? We're also going to include, for those of you who want to start fast, the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. This is a powerful distillation of the 7 most powerful hypnotic language patterns that exist, combined with instant and rapid inductions, the 3 magic questions, attraction and connection protocol, the lie detection videos, hypnotic hot buttons. This is all about NLP style anchoring, criterion values elicitation, and that emotional bonding checklist. It comes with MP3 downloads, it comes with videos, it comes with transcripts, it comes with workbooks. This program was specifically designed for you to download tonight, be hypnotizing people tomorrow. It's for those of you who don't want to waste time, who don't want to go through 35 hours of training, but want to start putting these skills into operation now. Literally, you can watch 2 videos and be out hypnotizing people. It's that fast, okay? It's a $997 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free if you're one of the first 21 people to click that link right now and reserve your spot for the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course. Okay, total combined value is $12,079. Finally, for those of you who like live events, for those of you who like hands-on training, who would like to actually do this stuff with me, quite possibly the best gift ever, I'm going to include for the next 21 people who register before I log off the webinar tonight. Let me repeat that because people have tried to claim this ticket weeks after the webinar. It's only valid for the people who register before I log off the webinar tonight. We're going to include a free VIP Identity by Design super ticket. It's going to give you free admission to one Identity by Design choice of your, or any by design training of your choice, the 5-day certification boot camp. This is the one where we take everything we've talked about in Secrets of Personality Transformation, everything we've talked about in the home study course, the Identity by Design home study course, and we put you through those drills as the subject, as the hypnotist, and we help you embody those skills so you can literally walk into a lobby that's undergoing renovations, walk into a crowded casino, busy street, and blast people anytime, anywhere, do a hypnosis on anyone. I've had people literally flying home from the Identity by Design training. They're in line at the airport. One of the guys ahead of them starts having he's a former Iraqi vet. He starts having a PTSD episode. People are freaking out. People are trying to, they want to call security on him. She literally walks up to him and says, point to where you feel it. She spins away his PTSD episode. and he followed her around the airport like a little puppy dog, sat next to her on the plane. And when they got off the plane in Hawaii, he gave her his Wounded Warrior jacket. That's the power that you have to help people to get over the things that are holding them back, to overcome any form of trauma or limiting belief, to change the building blocks of personality. There is nothing like our live training. If people ask me what the optimal order of training this stuff is, I would tell you come to the live event and then use the videos as a supplement. But I know for some people, that's really not feasible. That's not logistically just not how it works. So for those of you who can't come to the live training, or you have a lifestyle that doesn't let you get away for 5 days at a time, start with the videos in the order that I've shown them to you. When you can, come to the Identity by Design training. Now, let me explain a little bit about our VIP ticket program, because this is something you don't want to miss out on. This is something that will change your life. This will be in San Diego, guys. Be in San Diego. Our VIP ticket program works in a very special way. It doesn't expire. So we have a training coming up January 23rd. I'm sorry, March 19th through the 23rd in San Diego, 2024. So you got lots of time to prepare. For those of you who have a Killer Influence ticket, if you want to swap them out, we'll let you do that too. But basically the way this works is if you get to come to the training for free for 5 days. But let's say something happens. Let's say that you're getting ready to come, and at the last minute, maybe there's another COVID outbreak. Maybe people, yes, March 19th, Sherry. Maybe gas prices won't let you go. Your idiot boss decides to cancel your vacation and make you work. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call Mia or Moss. Let them know. We will move you to the next Identity by Design training. You do not lose this ticket until you actually use it. Now, let's say for whatever reason, logistically you can't make the March 19th to the 23rd training. And then at the last minute, something happens and you can come, but the training is full. If you have one of these VIP super tickets, we'll make a seat for you. We'll literally move chairs around or whatever so that you can come to the training. All we ask is that you let us know as quickly as possible so that we can prepare the materials, because we don't prepare the materials till like a couple of days before the event. So we're not running an overstock of manuals and things like that. Let's say a month from now, we decide to raise the price on this seminar. Well, guess what? You don't pay anything extra. Your price is guaranteed. If you're a VIP ticket holder, it doesn't matter if we raise this to $10,000 a session. You get to walk in. You get a front row seat. Okay? Let's say you've been through Identity by Design, but you have a friend or a colleague that you think would benefit from this training. You can gift this ticket to them, right? And they can come and learn how to do these things, and then you guys can trade together, right? I've had people literally get these tickets and I don't hear from them for 2 or 3 years. And then they call up and say, David, I got this VIP ticket at one of your last events. Is it still good? I say, come on in, right? So once again, it does not expire. If you have to cancel at the last minute, we move you to another training. If you can't come and then all of a sudden your schedule frees up and you can come and it's sold out, we'll find a seat for you. If the price goes up, your price is guaranteed. You will never pay a dime more than you're paying tonight. How much is the live ticket? $31.50. But it's free if you grab your webinar package before the end of the webinar tonight when I log off. Okay, this is your free. It's a $3,150 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free, right? If you really want to take your skills to the next level, if you're really serious about an extra income stream, this is how you begin to embody those skills in the way I designed the system to be done. Okay. If you can't come, use the order of videos that I prescribed. It'll still work. But what you'll see is after you go through the live training, you go back and you rewatch those videos. You will see, hear, and understand things in the very videos that you watched before you came to the training. And you'll see and understand things differently and at a deeper level because now you embody those skill sets. One of my teachers, John Latourette, who taught a system called speed hitting, how to hit somebody 11 times or more in 1 second or less. And he would do these things and people say, I didn't see your hands move. And he would say, you can't see things that aren't inside of you. And that's something I've found to be true. As you go through these trainings and these skills become more and more and more a part of you, what tends to happen is your perceptual abilities, your ability to see and understand and become aware of things that were always there grows exponentially. And you'll start to perceive things. My inner circle people like Moss and Seth and Holly, they hear and see things coming out of my mouth all the time now that they never would have seen had they not done the drills. And you can always see the light bulbs going off when they see how we layer things and we add things and you're doing all these different things simultaneously. That's what's ahead of you. That's the learning and the power that's coming your way if you just follow the program. Okay, total combined value on this is $15,229. But once again, review. Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course, $2,497 value. We're going to throw in absolutely free the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, $1,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. We're going to give you the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mind Control Training Masterclass, $1,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,997, absolutely free. We're going to give you the Renegade Reframing Conversational Belief Change Training, $1,997 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value. We're going to give that to you free. And your choice of any Identity by Design training. Total value on this is $15,229. You can get it all for one low installment of just $997. Or if you need a little extra time, you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397 each. All you got to do to get yours is go to www.nlppower.com/MIND. It's www.nlppower.com/MIND. If you have any questions, you can post them directly in the chat, or you can talk directly to Moss or Mia at 858-282-4663, or you can email Moss at nlppower.com, or you can email Mia at nlppower.com. They will be happy to answer any questions you have, work through any sticking points that you need, so forth. Okay? So once again, make sure to click that link right now. Remember, if you want to be something different, you want to have something different, you got to do something different. Click that link right now, www.nlppower.com/mind. Click the links, click the links, click the links. While you're doing that, I'm going to give you guys a 7-minute break to finalize your package, get any questions answered, reach out to Moss or Mia. When we come back at 6:09, we're gonna begin phase 3 of the webinar, and we're gonna start to customize the things we've learned so that you can start clearing the blocks to your success and accelerating and reprogramming your subconscious mind. This is gonna get intense, guys. So after you click the links and you get your packages squared away, make sure you have lots of caffeinated and oxytocin-laden substances like chocolate or avocados or whatever, and get ready to do some drills and get some skills. Okay, I'll see you in 7 minutes. Okay, folks, I'm back from my break a little bit early. Before we, guys have any last minute questions or anything that you guys want to ask me before we jump into the rest of the training for tonight? Remember that all of our webinars always are like a sandwich. You know, we got the meat in the middle, and then it's kind of a reverse sandwich, right? So this is where we begin to customize the content of tonight's webinar for you guys to the specific applications you want to learn more about. It gets a little bit more informal from here. So please feel free to type in the chat any questions that you have or anything you want to focus on. I'm going to ask you some specific questions very shortly. Please click that link right now so we can get you guys your VIP tickets and get you guys are keeping Moss busy. He's like nonstop phone calls right now. So it's cool. I like to see so many people who are excited. So Ricky is asking, Dr. David, I feel negative and positive, same place most time initially. Yeah, we're going to show you how to fix that. That's very common. All right, let me just go ahead and jump out of this. All right. And we're back. Hey, guys. All right. So this is one of my favorite parts of the webinar, by the way, because this is where I get to help you guys really turn the lights on, so to speak. All right. So how many of you are with me? If you're still hanging out, I know a bunch of people did what they needed to do. Oh, so people are coming back. Good to see. Okay, good. All right. So in part one of the webinar, we talked about what I call the emotional motivation of the emotional bonding checklist. I had you read what you wanted to get from, as a byproduct of tonight's webinar out loud. And I had you notice feelings, right? When you point to where you feel it, in Planet David, we call that a somatic address, right? If you want to do a little bit more research on this, you can reference a book called The Body Keeps the Score by Basil van der Kolk, probably one of the preeminent experts on the embodiment of traumas, right, and how to get those out, right? One of the things that happens is that your neurology creates a memory. Let's cover some foundation stuff again. Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's a feeling they either want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of, okay? Now, every memory that you record and encode will have a kinesthetic sensation to it. Whether you realize it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not, that memory, whether it's a pleasurable memory, a traumatic memory, a limiting belief, a positive belief, all of them will have a somatic component. There will be a physical location in the body where those things are stored. I almost hesitate to use the word stored, because what the science is showing us is that most of our memories aren't recalled so much as reconstructed and recreated. Okay, let me, my autofocus is getting a little wonky here. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, so my point, before I go any further, it doesn't matter whether it's a positive feeling or a negative feeling. If we can point to a body location, then we can change it, right? So that's one of the truisms that I want you guys to write down and take notes on. There is nothing inside of you that you can't change if you can point to it. Now, what if I can't point to it, David? Here's the workaround. Pretend that you can. Let me repeat that. If you can't consciously feel something, pretend that you can and point to where you pretend it, and it'll work. You don't have to know why. Trust me that there's a strong, powerful neurological reason why. But you don't need to know it, because too much knowledge will actually stop you from making change, right? It's one of the little mechanisms at play in your conscious and unconscious dynamics, right? One of the things you'll learn in Identity by Design and Secrets of Personality Transformation are the hidden laws of mental dynamics, right? What are the principles that govern the mind? But even more importantly, perhaps, is how do you actually dialogue with the unconscious part of you? How do you actually talk to the part of you that is running all these programs, right? The way you find a program is through provoking it, either positively or negatively. Now, a lot of you noticed that when we started talking about the things we want from tonight's webinar and how we're going to get it, when we read those things out loud, good feelings came up. Sometimes good feelings came up, and in the background, there was this little icky naggy feeling. True or not true? Type in the chat. This is the interactive portion of tonight's webinar, okay? This is important because if we're doing manifestation, if we're doing law of attraction, if we're trying to use affirmations, if we're trying to use brainwave entrainment, this is, I just thought of this. This is really, really important to understand. If you're doing any kind of brainwave entrainment, like you're listening to some like Farsight Institute or binaural beats or anything like that, and you're trying to program yourself for positive things, if you're going into an altered state, which is everything we're doing is about altering your state, okay? And you're triggering the positive feelings and the icky, naggy feelings, but you're not doing anything to clear the icky, naggy feelings while you're doing like brainwave entrainment or anything like that, you'll also be reinforcing the negativity. Let me repeat that. Okay, how many people know what I'm talking about when I talk about brainwave entrainment or binaural beats or anything like that? Okay, those devices, the light and sound machines and all those things, right? I use a neurophone, it's amazing, right? But here's the thing, they'll only get you in the state. They won't clear your shit. This is one of the reasons why I created the Secrets of Personality Transformation program. Because when I started listening to self-hypnosis when I was like 12 or 13 years old, right? Anything that puts you in an altered state is useful. Here's the problem. What resources, what programs are being accessed and running during that altered state, right? So here's the thing. And I'll give you a quick story. How many of you have ever listened? I'm going to sit down for this one. How many of you have ever listened to a self-hypnosis tape? Anybody? Okay. Maybe you've had this experience. You're lying in your bed or in your recliner, your eyes are closed, your headphones are on or your earplugs are in, and this person's going on about you're getting relaxed, you're going deeper and deeper, relaxing all the way down. And there's this little voice in your head going, is this working? I'm relaxed. I don't feel hypnotized. Is this working? I don't know. I mean, I'm relaxed. I'm not sure it's working. I don't feel hypnotized. Sound familiar? Yes or no? Type in the chat. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing we need to understand. If any of those recordings are longer than 20 minutes, chances are you went into trance. Even if the person doing the hypnosis sucked, if they went longer than 20 minutes, there's a good chance you went into trance. Here's the problem with trance states. We don't realize we're in a trance state until we come out of it. Let me repeat that. More often than not, we do not realize we are in a trance state until we've come out of it. So one of the things one of my hypnosis teachers used to say, you guys want to have an experience of what hypnosis feels like? Play along with me. Anybody here want to feel what hypnosis feels like? Yes? Okay, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And he'd wait a few seconds and he'd say, that's what hypnosis feels like. The problem with trance states is unless part of us is trying to stay the same and measure the change, we don't realize how deep into trance we've gone, and usually until we've come out of it. Now, getting back to closing my loop. If you were listening to one of those self-hypnosis trainings or programs, and the person was even remotely decent, chances are you went into a trance. Here's the problem. What were you doing in your mind while that trance state was running? Were you going, I don't know if this is working. I'm not sure. Am I hypnotized? I don't feel hypnotized. This isn't supposed to be what hypnosis is like. So what do you think you've been rehearsing in trance? Anybody? Oh shit, he's asking questions. This is almost like being in a class, right? You've been rehearsing doubt. Yes, doubt, uncertainty, skepticism, right? Same thing is true if you're going to rely on things like binaural beats or brainwave entrainment. It's not that they don't work. It's that what are the processes that you're using in your brain, and are you clearing the crap before you start trying to amplify the positives? If you're trying to overpower the negative feeling with more and more affirmations, there's a metaphor that I use with all my students. Is that most people move through the world with the equivalent of a jet engine and an anchor strapped to their back. And it's very intuitive. It's very normal for us to want to put more thrust in the engine, to get more done, to accomplish more. And so we look for ways to put more juice, more push into that mechanism. But what happens is, inevitably, remember, I had 17 years of cleaning other people's shit up, right? The more you try to put juice in the engine, the more drag you create from the anchor. You wind up trying to suppress, deny, ignore the negative crap that needs to be healed. And so the more thrust you try to put in the engine, the more drag you create from the anchor, and now you're having to work, your system's having to work harder and harder and harder. Whereas if you just cut the anchor, you would take off like a rocket because there's nothing in your way. So when we do trance is the easy part. It really is. It's what we do, how we manage those trance states, that becomes really, really important. And you can't manage a trance state if you don't understand the dynamics of what you're dealing with. And that's why I gave you the provocation exercise at the beginning of the training. I had you find the body location, identify the positive feelings and the not so positive feelings. Why? So we can eliminate the not so positive feelings. Does that make sense? Type it in the chat. Come out of trance. Okay. I'm putting you guys in trance just by talking. I get it. Okay. So here's my point. What do you guys want to, what application do you guys want to focus on for the rest of the webinar? What we're going to do this as a group vote, and I'll make an arbitrary decision. What do you guys want to drill down on? Go ahead and type it in the chat. This is your chance to tell me how to make this your webinar. Cut the anchor, stop reverse action. Okay. Clearing those bits, self-trance. Okay. Flaming burn. We got healing. Like YouTubers are saying healing. Come on, you got to be clearing those bits, self-trance, clearing with color. Okay. Cleaning the information, holding. Okay. Let go of the negative mindsets. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Patricia is saying, I get what you're talking about intellectually, but I need to learn the intention. Okay. Real positive thinking. Okay. Okay. So then let's do this. I'm going to teach you guys a couple of different exercises tonight. And we're going to end with, this is going to be a little bit more drill intensive. So I hope you guys are up for it. All right. If you want, again, these are small pieces of the overall identity by design system and the hidden laws of attraction system that are included in your package. I'm just cherry picking pieces from the system, from the course, so that you can experience them and so you can get an idea of what the entire system by itself will do for you. Is that fair? Carrie says best techniques to use and how to use them for weight loss. These are all the exact same techniques. It really doesn't matter. Bagaris is saying overcoming blocks. That's fine. All right. So first thing we want to do when we want to begin to train things is we now know our outcome. So what is it you want? When you get out a piece of paper right now, I want you to write down what you want. And how are you going to know when you got it? What are you going to see? What are you going to hear? What are you going to feel? What are you going to smell? What are you going to taste? What do you want? How are you going to know when you have it? Okay. Okay. Moss is posting links for those of you who want the full system and the hands-on training with me. Click the link right now and you get that. Okay. Just post it away. Okay. Click it away. Get yourself in there. Okay. When you written the things out I've asked you to write down, type down in the chat. I'll wait. It's okay. Nina says she's done. Perfect. All right. Now, this is important because one of the things that human beings have to do is we have to express and externalize things. Again, we'll cover this way in depth in your Hidden Laws of Attraction course. We'll cover it at Identity by Design in March. But you need to get things out of your body and onto some kind of external medium in order for you to work with them better. Okay. All right. So if you're going to, for this next piece, if you're driving, don't do this. If you're not driving and it's safe for you to engage in things that have their eyes closed, then by all means do this. Again, if you're driving or operating any form of machinery or heavy equipment that requires your full and undivided attention, you are not to do these drills. If you want to do these drills, then you need to pull over to the side of the road or into a parking lot or your driveway or your garage where it's safe, put the car in park, turn the car off, put the parking brake on, roll the windows down so you have fresh air, right? Be very, very safe, okay? I take no responsibility for people who misuse this training by doing it in unsafe environments, okay? Now, here's the thing. Everything that we're doing will involve a trance state. You just won't realize it, okay? One of the reasons we talked about, if you guys remember at the beginning of, in part one of the webinar, we talked about the first 3 stages of the Universal Persuasion Protocol. Know what you want, control your state, get rapport. Do you guys remember me saying that? Yes or yes? Okay. One of the most famous hypnotists of all time, the guy by the name of Dr. Milton Erickson, he used to tell his students that your clients will be your clients because they're out of rapport with their unconscious mind. So many of you discovered that experientially today when I had you read something you wanted out loud from tonight's webinar, and you noticed that there was a good feeling and a not so good feeling. True, not true? Okay, congratulations. You just found 2 parts of yourself that were out of rapport. Our job is to get everybody on the same page, get every part of you functioning and moving in the direction of your highest desirable good beyond just your meat programming, just beyond the survival level that your nervous system is happy with. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This first technique is called Magic Frame, and it's really, really simple. And again, you don't need to understand all the neuroscience or all the fancy languaging behind it for it to work for you. All you got to do is play pretend, like when you were a little kid. How many people here have been little kids? Anybody? Okay. You don't got to believe it. That's the best part, Zerlinda. You don't have to believe it. You just got to play with it, right? I'm going to do things that things are going to come up in your mind. Won't matter. Okay. I'm going to show you this. It's really cool. I want you to think of something on a scale of, let's start with something relatively low level that we want to clear. Would that be okay? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 1, 2, or 3. Can we think of something like that? Yes. Now I know some of you are going to go for Godzilla. I get it, right? I get it. And this will work on Godzilla most of the time. But in the context of an online training like this, we want to keep it simple for you. Okay. So the first thing that has to happen is I want you to close your eyes. Think of that thing that you want to change. As you think about that thing you want to change, I want you to notice there's a place in your body where the feelings connected to that memory are stored. Where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, point to where you feel it. Now, using your imagination, go with your first impression. If there were a picture floating in the space around you that represented that amazing experience, a picture that you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? First impression. Now, once you find that picture, trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. grab it with both of your hands. Just to make sure we've got the right one, let's make the picture a bit bigger. Notice what happens to the feeling in your body. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? Now, I don't want you typing stuff into the chat. I'm just going to assume you're following along. I don't need you to type anything into the chat. Bring it back to its original size. Now grab it, keep the size of the picture exactly the same, and slowly pull it closer to your body. And notice what happened to the feelings. Did it get stronger or did it get weaker? Now put it back to where it was originally. Now take your imagination, put a big, thick black frame around that puppy. The bigger and thicker and blacker, the better. Now, most of you are too young to remember when televisions had real dials and knobs and switches, like on a touchscreen or remote control. I want you to feel along the base of that frame. You're going to notice some dials and knobs and switches, like on an old style television. I want you to scan that lower part of the frame. So you find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast, and turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. And as you do that, notice how that makes you feel. Once you've got that, turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. And decide for yourself which one you like better. All the way to the right, all the way to the left, or somewhere in between. Keep playing with it until you find exactly how you want it to be. Once you've got that, I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand, and in glowing golden letters on that whited out or blacked out screen, there were some lessons that this experience had to teach you, positive or negative. I want you to write those lessons on that whited out or blacked out screen in glowing golden letters until you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, here's the best part about this. Sometimes we know exactly what those lessons were, and boom, we just plop it right on that screen like it's nobody's business. Sometimes we have no conscious idea what those lessons were, but the part of you that created this whole set of feelings and relationships in the first place, that part always knows because it's the part that created it. So let that part express itself. Let it speak through your finger and let it write in its own way on that write-it out screen everything that needs to be kept so you can keep the lessons, positive or negative, and let everything else go. Now the screen will scroll like a tablet will scroll, so you have an infinite writing space. Some people draw squiggles. Some people draw pictures. Some people get really angry and react it and write fuck you, fuck you, fuck you across the screen. Some people write with both hands simultaneously, like they're writing Chinese or Hebrew at the same time. However your body does it, just let those fingers express. Let it write out on that whited out or blacked out screen everything that needs to be kept, so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Take all the time you need to let that happen. If feelings and emotions come up, put them on the screen, express them, and just keep writing. If shit comes up, keep writing until it's all gone and it's all on that screen. Keep the lessons and let everything else go. Once you've done that, and you know it's done, take both of your hands, physically reach out, shrink that frame and the lessons in it down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Float it up over the top of your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your other than conscious mind floats that image over the top of your head and back beyond the horizon. You know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail? Nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. When it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring it back and notice what happens instead. Now, some people, when this happens, they break out in a sweat. Some people laugh, some people yawn, some people cry, some people twitch. Some people just feel waves of emotion coming up. However your body does it, that's just your neurology resetting itself. It's just the emotional detox. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, test it. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off. Notice what happens instead. So Linda says, feels so good to release. Very good. Well done. Okay. Once you're done and you know you're done, is it normal? Yeah. Yeah. Quite normal, as a matter of fact. Yeah. However you did it is right. Type what you experienced. Type how the feelings have changed for you now. What'd you notice? Some of you are still processing. Some of you will be processing this for a while. The intervention is really fast, but the transformation goes really deep. Julie says it's calmer. Excellent. Okay, Nina says very tense shoulders but happy. Now, Nina, I want you to check in with your shoulders and notice if what you're experiencing has a melting sensation to it. Like there's something that was hard that's kind of melting. Sometimes when those things are really locked in, it takes a while for it to melt. Also, if it's something other than what I just described, check into where you actually put the picture behind you. Is it all the way back beyond the horizon, or is it right behind you? Okay, if it's right behind you, move it all the way back below the horizon and notice what happens. Okay, Flame Burning Bright says coughing fit. Good, excellent. Just let yourself cough. That's your body purging. You know, most people would freak out when people start having coughing and choking fits. I don't, because that's how we're venting. That's how we're clearing and purging the emotional toxicity that's locked in our nerves. Constant yawning is an excellent, excellent sign. Let it happen. The secret to this is letting it happen. Most people, see, we're not taught to do that. We're not taught to let these things out. And so the moment we start having some kind of a response, we try to lock it down or we try to make it happen faster, and that actually slows it down. Right? The hardest part about these purging exercises is letting them happen. Right? But as it melts, these blocks are gone, and now all of a sudden there's space for something better. And that's what we want to do. We want to clear space in your system so that you can fill it with something better. Okay. Patty says, saw a round circle shrinking and melting away from black to white, tried to lift pick and felt spring back. Super cool. Very good. Okay. Same thing. Jesse, can you, I'm assuming we're talking about a religious experience and not the movie Deliverance. Would that be true? Yeah, because what happens in the Christian, well, not just Christian, but all spiritual traditions, the first phase is what we call death and rebirth. So what happens is the old versions of yourself have to die. And what that means is that an emotional identification changes. Who you are, what you believe, what you think you're capable of, what you deserve, all that kind of dies. It's a metaphorical, but also a literal death. And when that stuff is gone, it creates space for divine light to come in. And that's what we call being filled with the Holy Spirit and being born again. Right? It's the same alchemy. Okay. Yeah. Again, we can take these same processes and and we can insert it into a Christian tradition, a Buddhist tradition, a Taoist tradition. It doesn't matter what the spiritual system is. The methodology or the process we need to go through is the same. We have to clear and then add more light to become more divine. That's why they call it enlightenment, because we're getting rid of stuff which makes us lighter, and that space allows us to bring more divine light in, more heavenly light in, which makes our radiance stronger. So it's enlightenment on several different levels. Okay. Right. So this is the big piece. Remember, if you're playing the denial game, what does that mean? Well, I'm just going to do these affirmations, and when I have a negative feeling coming up, I'm just going to ignore it and focus on the positive one. Well, the more negativity that's down there, the more repetitions you have to do to overcome it. And you're still, because you're denying or ignoring, you're actually adding more energy to the negative energy. It's better to purge and then add, rather than try to add and ignore and overpower it. Can it work? It can. But it's an awful lot harder to do. Okay, let's see here. So Pythagoras is saying, need to separate the different emotions, acknowledge the lessons to feel the positive. Now that the negative is let go. Perfect. Now, what if we want to make something better? Could we use this technique to make something better? What do you think? Type it in the chat. This is the Q&A part. All right. So before we go on to how to make things better, I want to remind you that we're coming in, we got about maybe 22 minutes left on tonight's webinar. So if you want to really get good at this stuff, you need to click one of those links and reserve your ticket for the VIP training in March and get the videos so you have everything and get that 90-day hands-on training in the mastermind. And Moss will post those links for you guys to do. So let me just remind you of what it is we're giving away, or we're offering you, for lack of a better word. And then we'll go on to how to make stuff better. Okay, so once again, the offer tonight doesn't get much better than this, guys. This is one of the most powerful and empowering programs or packages I've ever put together. I really, if you're tired of suffering, if you're tired of feeling less than, if you're tired of missing out, if you're tired of holding yourself back, remember, you got to have an identity that supports the change, and you got to take the action. The action's real simple. You just got to click that link and do the drills to get the skills. You're going to get the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course. 14 videos, includes the 7-stage Identity by Design system, plus the manual, the online community, which is our NLP Power Planet David group, $2,497 value. It's absolutely priceless. You're going to get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course valued at $1,497. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mind Control Masterclass, $1,497. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You're going to get the Renegade Reframing, Objection Obliteration, and Speed Conversational Change work. So $1,997 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You're going to get the Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,997 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. You're going to get the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Group Trial, and you're going to get the free VIP Anything Goes super ticket to our next Identity by Design training. Total combined value for all of this is $15,229 if you were to try to buy them individually, which some of these you can't. Okay, you can get it all for one low installment of just $997, or if you need a little help, you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397. And you know, one of my mentors used to say, if you're not going to do this, what are you going to do instead? Right? What are you going to do? What training can you do for this amount that will get you the level and scope of change and empowerment that that you get from this? How much? How are you going to get the hands-on training, the face-to-face time with me? How are you going to get all the feedback and the support? This is one of the most powerful and life-changing things you will ever do. So please, not for me. My life's not going to change, except to get better. But it's not going to be doing that as a result of you deciding to change your life for the better. You have to decide, are you ready to be different? If it is, click that link. Just click the link, click the link, click the link. And that's my pitch. That's my offer. Are you ready to change? Click that link now. www.nlppower.com/MIND, or click the links that Moss is posting. If you have questions, reach out to Mia or Moss at 858-282-4663. All right. So let's say we want to make something better. The first thing I want you guys to do is clean out the crap. So if you make a list of everything that you want, the first thing I want you to do is do the little write it out and repeat it out loud exercise, and notice where in your body the positive feelings are. Notice where in your body the negative feelings are. Use the magic frame technique that we just did to clear out the negative stuff. Then what I want you to do is I want you to use your imagination now, and I call this an alternate reality movie. I want you to make a movie in your mind of the best case scenario, like what you really want, and make it awesome, right? I want you to make that movie, and I want you to make it big, like a drive-in movie theater. You know, let's just do this together. All right, so we just cleared some blocks out, right? But those blocks were connected to something that you really wanted. True or not true? If it's true, type it in the chat. Okay. Okay, we're going to do this in two phases. The first one is what we call the color breathing phase. The next one is called the framing phase. Okay, and then there's going to be color breathing with the frame. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes now all the way down. And I want you to think about that thing that you want. Make it awesome. I want you to make it big in your mind like a drive-in movie theater screen. Crystal clear like an IMAX. Turn up the sounds, the smells, the tastes, the feelings. Best result ever. And I want you to keep editing the movie until it's the best it can be. What might it be like to have that? And I want you, when it's perfect in every way, I want you to run that movie over and over and over again in your mind. Not once, not twice, but hundreds and thousands of times at the speed of thought. With each repetition, I want you to make it 10 times stronger, 100 times more powerful, 1,000 times more thrilling, fulfilling, and satisfying than ever before, until it overwrites and it replaces every experience you've ever had before, and then it just keeps getting better and better and better still. And as you step into that movie and live it first person, over and over and over again, I want you to notice something. I want you to become aware that there's a place in your body. If the visualization is changing, let it change as long as it's good, right? Watch it over and over and over again until it takes on a life of its own. Okay? And I want you to notice something. That as you step into that movie and you live it over and over and over again, I want you to notice that there's a place in your body where those wonderful feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, recognize where you feel it and point to it. As you point to where you feel it in your body, look inside with your inner eyes and notice there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. First impression, what color or colors is it? Now what color or colors might that be for you? Now remember, I don't want you to type in, I don't want you typing anything, just follow my instructions. What color or colors might that be for you? First impression. Now, with each repetition of that movie, I want you to notice how those colors begin to grow. They begin to expand. They begin to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how they wrap themselves around you like an amazing blanket of transformation, of revelation, of manifestation, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, wrapping you, protecting you from all downers, all loss, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit. And notice with each repetition through that amazing new reality movie, those feelings in your body begin to grow. They begin to fill your entire being from the top of your head to the tips of your toes and all points in between. And then they just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger until they become so strong, so powerful. They begin to radiate from your body like the rays of the sun, forming a beautiful colored frame around that new reality movie that you've created. And when you're ready to own it, to embody it, to personify it completely, I want you to reach out with both of your hands. Grab that picture and the reality inside of it, lift it up over your head, expand it to fill the infinite universe, and then grab that reality and from head to toe, mind, body, and soul, move it through your entire being from head to toe over and over and over again. And notice what happens to any part of your mind, any part of your body, any part of your spirit that was vibrating out of harmony with this new reality. Keep passing that colored frame and that reality through your body until every level of your neurology, psychology, energy body, spirit body is vibrating in complete and perfect harmony with this new reality. Now, as people go through this process, they go through all kinds of interesting transformations. Some people break out in a sweat. Some people laugh. Some people yawn. Some people cry. Some people twitch. Some people feel tingles. Some people feel chills. Some people feel waves of emotion coming up. However your body does it, it's just your neurology resetting itself. It's the emotional and vibrational detox. There's no need for you to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, it's locked in, test it. Try to go back to that old version of yourself and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, stop testing and then type in the chat what you experienced. Take all the time you need. There's no rush. I'll stay on as long as I need to. Audie says calm. If visualizing is challenging, pretend. Julie says that's good stuff. Calm, excellent. Serenity and allowance of it happening with no judgment, perfect. I'm assuming these are good things, right? Yes or yes? Okay. So Thagara says numbness, tingles in the left foot, left hand, nice feelings. Your body's degaussing. Perfect. Perfect. Ready to take it to another level? Okay, Dr. Victor says, sure, confident, capable. Jill says, warm, glowy, and happy. Flame burning bright is melting. Excellent. Okay, so everything we just did was what we would consider somnambulistic trance in classical hypnosis. Didn't look like it, did it? Right? Doesn't respond to the same kind of the stereotype. Yes, there will be a replay, Carrie. Sleepy, that's fine. That's actually quite normal. Right. Here's the thing. There's no such thing as an abnormal response to this. What you're doing is triggering transformation. You're doing actual real alchemy. Okay? But you're doing it in a way that your autonomic nervous system understands exactly what you want it to do. Okay? There's no right or wrong. Right? Because as long as you understand the dynamics and the principles that govern how your autonomic nervous system processes, big word coming, subjective human experience, you can make any change you want. Okay? But let's talk about how do we take it one step further? How do we circumvent, or how do we work in harmony with how our nervous system wants to create possibilities for us? Now, the majority of this webinar was all about discovering what we want, isolating it, figuring out what's in the way and how to get out of it. But what if there was a way to not just remove limiting beliefs, which is what we've been focusing on? What if there was a way to circumvent them? What if there was a way for us to, rather than focus on all the reasons why we can't do something, what if there was a way that we could actually tap into the power of our belief system and our unconscious mind and find the actual resources, the actual reasons that it would actually be willing to act on, that would unlock energetic and emotional and motivational reserves that we didn't know we had? Would that be helpful? Would that be useful? Okay, so that's where we're going next. For this one, we're going to need to do some writing. Okay, so let me pull up my my screen. I'm going to see if I can actually find a previous lesson where I taught this. Otherwise, okay. So what we're going to talk about next is called the yin formation process. This is a way that you can give yourself practically irresistible hypnotic suggestions. Okay, everything we're doing Depending on what your background is, you can think of it as neurolinguistics, you can think of it as hypnosis, you can think of it as qigong, you can think of it as energy psychology, you can think of it as magic. It doesn't care what you call it, okay? Because it's all the same. But whatever word or label gives you the most comfort, use that. Think of it as intense meditation, intense prayer, creative visualization. It doesn't matter, okay? I have a cool term I use called neuromancy, which is the magic of the nervous system. But some people find that a little creepy. So, but I consider myself a neuromancer. So here's what's going to happen. I want you to think of something you want, and I want you to create what you want. Like if you guys don't know how to do affirmations, right? Yes or yes? Okay. So let me share my screen really quick. So in a classic affirmation, you might say things like, I feel more deserving of money. I have a 6-figure business. I attract the love of my life. I'm becoming more fearless. I'm being more confident. I'm being more empowered, being more happy, right? These are all just some samples of affirmations we might give ourselves. Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to skip a little bit of the compare contrast that I normally do. And what I want you to do now is I want you to write your affirmation in this structure. I am becoming, or I have, or I do, or well, that's just close enough. So any of these will start with this. I am becoming X because, make that a little bit smaller. Now, these are all also in, now the advanced versions of these are also in your Hidden Laws of Attraction course. So again, I don't have time to do everything. I have X because I do X because okay. So pick one of these, pick the one that pick the structure that best fits the information or the suggestion you want to give yourself. And when you have it, so let's say I want to attract my soulmate. I am attracting my soulmate because I know what I want. Right? So what we're doing now is in this portion that we're underlining, I want you to let your unconscious mind fill in the blank. This is the secret to this. So I am attracting my soulmate because I know what I want. Now, if I ask myself that same question, I am attracting my soulmate because I might get a different answer when I ask my unconscious mind. It might say, because I know where to look. Right? Are either of these wrong? No. If your unconscious mind generated the response that you fill in the blank with, it's right. All right, does everybody understand what I'm asking you to do here? Let me just jump out of this really quick. You guys understand what I'm asking you to do? So whatever it is you want to manifest, pick the structure that best fits what you're going to ask your unconscious mind to do. And you're going to start by saying the sentence out loud, letting your unconscious mind fill in the blanks and writing those down. So if I want to have a 6-figure business, I might say, I now have a 6-figure business because I like money. I now have a six-figure business because I know how to make it work. I now have a six-figure business because I love what I do, right? I now have a six-figure business because I love making a difference. Whatever pops up from within you are the actual reasons that your neurology will take action. Okay, so pick a structure and fill in the blank. Do at least 3 or 4 of these and write them out or type them out. But I want you to, this is important. These are suggestions that your unconscious mind has to accept because it created them, and the unconscious mind, the autonomic nervous system, never resists itself. And what the unconscious mind creates, the unconscious mind accepts. These are unstoppable suggestions because you don't resist yourself, right? So when you're done, type done, and then type one example of your information in the chat so I see that you've done it right. I have my desired life because God gave me. Okay. You might want to finish that sentence, Rinky. All right. Once you've typed done, you've typed your sample suggestion in the chat, I want you to stand up, and just like before, I want you to read those out loud 3 or 4 times each and notice what happens to your body. So Julie says, I have my first successful business because it is my turn. Boom. I have my successful life because I am simply blessed. I always have everything I want because, boom. I have more clients because I'm an expert. Yes. Hello, David. I very much like your content, but when you do NLP suggestions, I don't feel anything. Okay, when I do NLP suggestions or when you're doing this process of giving yourself NLP suggestions, that's not really clear for me. Okay, so for those of you who are standing up and reading these out loud, what's happening in your body? So Dr. Victor says, I have 4 or 5 figure a month business because I easily receive uplifting, positive, creative ideas. Yes, perfect, structurally correct. Structurally correct. You guys got this, right? Congratulations, you just built the bullet for your gun. So what's happening when you're repeating these things out loud? What's happening in your body? What's happening in your mind? Dominique LeBlue says, my body is positioning and feels ready. Yes. Good. Perfect structure. It's all about the structure, guys. This is one of the things where NLP and hypnosis intersect. Is NLP is about the structure of subjective human experience. Hypnosis is all about the content of that human experience. Crazy High says, interesting, right? You feeling a little bit of energy building up in your body? True, not true? Excellent. Okay. Throat is tight. Mark it on your little body map so you can go back and fix it later. Energy and excitement. Excellent. Now, I want you to pick one. I want you to pick one. Before we do that, Patty says, I don't feel like I'm tricking my lying to myself anymore. That's right. That's correct. You nailed it, Patty. Yeah. My throat is tight. Okay. So those of you experiencing throat tightness in your throat, there's a couple of reasons for that. On your little body chart that I had you create, write that down and use your magic frame tool on that tightness after the webinar. So Jess says, I am deserving of a 6-figure income because I am a millionaire. Perfect. He gets excited. Isn't that what you want to feel? Excited? You think you might take action on things now? Yes or no? Can it be that fast? Yeah. If you understand the dynamics of the system you were born with. It's all part of your unconscious programming. It's part, you're hardwired for this, guys. You're literally hardwired for this. Okay. But if nobody teaches you the dynamics and teaches you how to think about these things, you're going to assign a negative narrative to it and think it's bad. Right? That throat tightening thing is a good thing. You just haven't realized why it's good yet. Right? No findum ren, can you spin for another who refuses to spin themselves, even though I told them they don't have to believe it? Yes and no. I'll leave it at that. It's not it feels metaphysical. It's because it is crazy. It is metaphysical, but it's also very physical. Right? Again, this is not the webinar to parse those subjects. But trust me, you are tapping into, from a neuroscience perspective, from an energy psychology perspective, you're very much tapping into the magical forces that bind your mind, body together and create your reality, or the ability to transform and manifest reality. Daggeris is saying, I have a beautiful home with my family because we deserve it. Yes. Now think about how long you would normally have to do a regular affirmation to feel this level of energy. I feel that color pumping throughout my body, feels great. Excellent. You guys ready to take it to another level? Yes or yes? All right. Now, again, all the building blocks, all the things that I'm teaching you are part of the overall systems that we're teaching in the Secrets of Personality Transformation program, the package. If you want the whole system, click the link before we log off so you get not only the package, but the live event. Let me remind you really quick before we do this final touch, what you're getting and why it's important for you to do that, right? So once again, 14 videos, 7-stage identity by design silo plus the manual. It's $2,497 value. You get the online community and the people to practice with. You get that bonus identity by design hypnotherapy home study program, $1,497 value. Hidden laws of attraction, manifestation, and mind control mastery home study course, $1,497 value. You get the Renegade Reframe Objection Obliteration and Speed Conversational Belief Change package. It's a $1,997 value. The bonus Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,997 value. And then you get the fast action bonuses. Again, if you're one of the 21 people to click this link now before I log off the webinar, you'll get these extra fast action bonuses. The Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value. The NLP Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group Trial and the Archive, $1,597 value. And then finally, the free VIP Identity by Design Live Training Certification Program Super Ticket, $3,150 value. The total combined value of this program, guys, is $15,229. You can get it all for one low installment of just $997 or 3 easy installments of just $397 each. Just click the link in your chats right now, www.nlppower.com/MIND, or there was another link, an alternative link that Moss and Mia were posting. You can use that as well. If you have questions, call Mia and Moss now. Okay, call Mia and Moss now. Get your name on our list, so we can follow up and make sure that you're taken care of. 858-282-4663. That's 858-282-4663. Operators are standing by, as they say, in that part of the world. All right. Let's put the cherry on this sundae, shall we? Here's what I want you to do. So close your eyes. I want you, well, actually, before you close your eyes, look at your list. Pick one of your yin formations that you want to work with. Repeat it out loud 3 times so you know what it is you're saying. And then what I want you to do, I want you to close your eyes, and from the bottom of your gut, like in your lower dantian here, I want you to imagine a beam of light coming up through your body and like a spotlight emanating out in the world. I want you to speak that yin formation out loud 5 times. Speak it out loud 5 to 7 times with a rising emotion over and over again till your body's absolutely vibrating and pulsating with that energy. So I might be, I now have a 6-figure business because I'm attracting my soulmate, because I'm attracting my soulmate, because I am getting David's program now, because I am taking action now, because blah, whatever it is, I don't care. Get it out there. Get your body engaged. As you do that, as you're saying these things out and you're feeling the power welling up from inside of you, I want you to notice that there's a place in your body where those feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Point to where you feel it. If there were a picture floating in the space around you that represents that experience, that feeling, a picture that you could reach out and touch, first impression, where would you reach out to touch it? Now let's make sure we got the right one. Take both of your hands, trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands so you know how big it is. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab it. And I want you to play with it. I want you to make it bigger, make it smaller, move it closer to your body, move it away from your body, move it in your body, move it out of your body. Each time you change the size and location of that picture, I want you to notice that the feelings and the intensity of those feelings change as well. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand and in big, massive, glowing colored letters, I want you to write that information across that massive screen. As many times as you need to, as many times as you want to lock it in. When you've got that, I want you to grab that picture again, and I want you to play with it. I want you to make it bigger, make it smaller, move it in your body, move it out of your body. Notice how every time you change the size, shape, and location of that picture, the feelings and the intensity and the quality of those feelings change as well. And I want you to keep playing with this picture, guys, until you find the exact size, shape, and location that gives you the exact feeling that you want to have at the exact intensity level that you want to have it. When you find that sweet spot, I want you to fix it into place. I want you to notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as the energy flows from that picture to your body to your heart, from your heart to your bloodstream, from your bloodstream, every place your blood flows, those feelings go into every nerve, into every cell, into every atom, into the very DNA of those cells, transforming, reprogramming, turning each and every cell of your body into a powerful, perpetual manifestation machine. Each cell of your body, each aspect of your neurology, generating and facilitating, creating all the necessary changes and transformations for you to manifest this reality in the exact way that you need it, in the exact way that you want it. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Notice how that energy moves into your body, into the DNA, transforming and reprogramming. Take all the time you need to let those transformations, those manifestations, those suggestions lock in. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. When you know it's done, it's locked in, test it. Try to go back to the old version of yourself and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, stop testing. Notice how different you feel. Type what you experienced in the chat. Take all the time you need, let the process happen. You guys must be really processing. Shimon Oppenheim says, thumbs up. Anybody else back? Balanced. Lottie says, feels good. Okay. What'd you notice? What'd you learn? What'd you discover? Kim says, strong confidence. Good. Is this useful? Dominic says, feeling easy. Jill says, feels good. Dominique is all happy and hearty. Very good. All right. So what you've learned today is that if you want to be better at anything, you got to be playful. You learned there are 4 basic default driver states that move you forward, that we want to install as default mechanisms. You've learned that everything human beings do is in response to a feeling they want more of, or a feeling they want a whole lot less of, right? You've learned that if you can, wow, it got more powerful the more I said it. That's how I know she did it, because that's what happens. Jill says that icky part is gone and there feels no block anymore. Lonnie Martin says, yes, love that Trent session, David, sir. You're very welcome, right? This is the worst you'll ever be. This shit only gets stronger the more you use it, okay? First thing you got to do is know how your system works. Second thing you got to know how to do is get rapport with your inner mind and body and control your state. Jess B says, I'm living in the end. That's a good thing, I'm assuming, right? Right. So here's my ask, right? If you got value from tonight's webinar, if we showed you things about how to unleash the magic buried inside each of you, you owe it to yourself to click the link and come for more training. This is the tip of a very large, very powerful, very deep iceberg, right? I get it if some of you, maybe you're not there yet. I'm cool with that. But if you got even a little bit of juice out of tonight, click the link and get the rest of it, okay? This is a system that we put in place to help you transform yourself and help you transform others, right? We want to change the world, starting one person at a time, starting with you. There's not enough of me to go around. I need to train you guys to go out and leverage the power, okay? If you did enjoy the training tonight, please like and share the video. Tell people about it, point them to us so we can help more people. The more people that know what we do and how we do it, the more the world's going to change, right? We change the world one person at a time, right? I enjoy this work with you. I love sharing with you. Please post your questions and your comments and your opinions to the section when this video goes live for the replay. Remember that when I log off the webinar, all the fast action bonuses go away. So if you've been on the fence, it's do or die time, right? That being said, I had fun. I hope you did too. Please share, like, post, do whatever. And in the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, my friends. I love you all. God bless. Rock the world, take names, trance everyone, and make their lives better. You got the power. The power's in you. Use it. God bless.